A new year shines the spotlight on this season's Triple Crown Trail with the best 3-year-olds aiming to follow in Justify's footsteps and become the next Triple Crown champion. From Aqueduct Racetrack, Gulfstream Park, Oaklawn Park, and Santa Anita Park, Fox Sports Saturday at the Races is next. Today, Derby dreams begin to take shape at Aqueduct. Lucky Lee will roll the dice in his Big Apple debut after back-to-back dominating wins at Parks. At Gulfstream, a win by undefeated Remsen champ Maximus Mischief in the Holy Bull would mark him as one of the leading contenders for the Derby. At Santa Anita, Gunmetal Gray kicked off his 3-year-old campaign with a win on the Derby Trail. Can he go back-to-back out west? And at Oaklawn Park, 3-year-old filly Sunset Witch tries to add another stakes triumph to her resume with a 4th consecutive win. Fox Sports Saturday at the Races is presented by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Hello, everyone. Great to have you with us on Fox Sports Saturday at the Races here on Fox Sports 2, our first of 12 shows over the course of the next 3 months. We'll take you to the Triple Crown Trail and beyond at racetracks all across the country. We have reporters and analysts stationed all over the place we'll check in with in just a little bit. And of course, we have our team here in studio in Southern California at Santa Anita. I'm Greg Wolf with me, 4-time Major League All-Star, Paul LaDuca, 2015 NHC Tour Championship winner, Jonathan Kinchin, who's going to try and make us a little bit of money over the course of these next 12 shows. Bob Baffert said it best. He has mucho gusto in the Robert B. Lewis later today. He said this is the true tip-off of the Triple Crown season today, Paul.
Well, it is. You're right. There's going to be points on the line in a couple of races, and those are going to be obviously going towards the first Saturday in May, but we cannot forget about the fillies. There's some points on the line at Oaklawn, which is a good card at Oaklawn in the Martha Washington.
Absolutely. You don't want to fall in love with a horse yet, but it's always good to start soaking it in because it's upon us now.
Yeah.
Horses start earning those points to make it into the starting gate for that first Saturday in May. That happens this afternoon. We have 3 Kentucky Derby preps. Of course, that filly prep for the Oaks as well. As we take a look at the lineup, it's presented by WinStar, the farm that pays you back. The Withers happens from Aqueduct. That is at 1 1/8. That will go as race 9 at Gulfstream. 2 3-year-old races, the Swale, and of course the Grade 2 Holy Bull here at Santa Anita. We have a wet racetrack. Well, more of that in just a little bit with the Robert B. Lewis, where Bob Baffert will send out mucho gusto, and races 5 through 9. That's where we have that filly race, the Martha Washington, coming up out in Hot Springs, Arkansas. NYRA Bets members can earn a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Enter the promo code LIVE at sign-up. You get $200 as soon as you bet $200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at NYRABets.com or download the NYRA Bets app. As mentioned, we have reporters and analysts stationed all across the country. Let's start things off in Ozone Park, New York, at Aqueduct with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And it is a cool, crisp, and clear day here at the Big A. We're sitting right around freezing, and I'm Maggie Wolfendale as we'll kick off the 3 Derby preps here in New York with the Grade 3 Withers as we're going 1 1/8, and it's an interesting matchup, kind of an evenly matched field, if you will, including some different purchase prices. $900,000 for Moretti as he broke his maiden last time as a yearling, as he's a half to Battle of Midway against 2 former claimers in Tax and Not That Brady. Not That Brady, a New York bred stakes winner. He'll look to find his footing against Open Company for the first time for trainer Rudy Rodriguez. So stay tuned. The Withers is coming up next.
Well, Mother Nature is being kind to us today. It is a beautiful sunny afternoon here at Gulfstream Park. Temperatures in the mid-70s. There was some rain predicted, but it looks like we're going to be in the clear this afternoon. I'm Acacia Courtney reporting from Gulfstream Park. We have a great card assembled with several stakes. We'll be bringing you the Swale at 7 furlongs and the Fasig-Tipton Holy Bull as the 3-year-old scene starts to take shape, and we'll see if Maximus Mischief can extend that win streak and go 4 for 4 with some Kentucky Derby points on the line here at Gulfstream Park.
They predicted overcast skies, but the sun always shines here at 60 degrees. I'm Nancy Holthus at Oaklawn Park. A great 9-race card, full fields, competitive betting races, and it's highlighted by the 41st running of the Martha Washington. 3-year-old fillies testing 1 mile, many making their stakes debut. 17 points awarded to the top 4 finishers, hoping to make their way to the Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks that first Friday in May.
Well, as you can see, the weather over here is the big question mark on this big day of racing. I'm Michelle Yu here at Santa Anita Park. I spoke to Andy LaRocco, who is the track superintendent, about the rain situation. And since about 2 o'clock this morning, we've gotten over 1.5 inches here on track. But in preparation for this, we have sealed the track, which means that they've basically taken big tractors and rolled it very flat to ensure a fair and even surface. So the slop is only the top inch or so of the actual track here. As far as the morning line favorite Mucho Gusto goes, I spoke to Bob Baffert. He said this horse breezed in the slop at the sale, and he absolutely smoked over the surface, so no problems there.
Ladies, thank you very much. We want to hear from you at home, however, to see who you think is going to make the biggest impact this afternoon on the Triple Crown Trail. We have America's Best Racing Twitter poll. Which runner has the best chance to win the Kentucky Derby? As you see there, it's a big weekend at Kentucky Derby. Points from coast to coast. Which one of these runners in the Holy Bull and Robert B. Lewis has the best chance of going on to win the Derby? Go ahead, get on Twitter and make your voice heard. Vote now. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back. Plenty of action from all across the country is coming up. We'll have our best bets from our analysts here in studio. And Andy Serling, of course, back in New York, is ready for Todd Pletcher. Tries to give that Pletcher barn a 4th win in the Withers.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Eclipse champion Blame was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault and graded stakes winners Maraud, Beyond Blame, Miss Kentucky, and Blamed. His yearling sold up to $500,000, and his sensational daughter Fault brought $1.2 million at the November sale. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. The Eclipse champion sprinter never lost while sprinting, a perfect 7 for 7 in his career. 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire, retired completely sound, and he always ran on track 100% medication free. And we're starting to see those new yearlings pop up, and by all accounts, beautiful looking horses. Thank you to Run Happy for supporting our show here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Time for our best bets. As promised, with all this Triple Crown action we have coming up, who has progressed from 2 to 3? So many questions to be answered coming up. We're going to check in first with Andy Serling in New York. Andy.
Across the country. I'm actually going to deviate from the Triple Crown preps to one of the preps that's more of the 3-year-old sprinters, and that's the Swale, the 10th race coming up at Gulfstream Park. Call Paul, who won our Saratoga Special. I'm sure a lot of you watched that on Saratoga Live last summer. I really like this horse. I thought he was a very, very good 2-year-old, and he really doesn't need to improve a lot from his 2-year-old form to take this race against some good horses. I'm scared of the 8 Seismic Jolt and even the 11 Country Singer on the outside. But I like Call Paul. Horse is going out for Jason Service. I think this is a very consistent runner. He has speed, but he does not need the lead. I think he will be relatively forwardly placed, but they should be moving up front. The Swale is going to be a very good one. Looking forward to that and all the action on today's show.
Hi, everybody. Bob Newmeyer at Gulfstream Park. My best bet of the day comes in the Swale Stakes. So I'm going to push my shopping cart down aisle 1 and land on number 1, Frosted Grace. It's a long shot, I know. The favorite, no doubt, Call Paul, trained by Jason Service. The man wins everything in sight. And don't forget a speedball like Seismic Jolt. He cost $800,000 as a 2-year-old. That's right, $800,000. All of you in TV land, I know it's been a little chilly the last few days. We're going to roll on Frosted Grace.
My best bet is here at Santa Anita. It's a little bit wet outside, but Mucho Gusto should have no problem getting to the front end, trained by Bob Baffert, who won the Triple Crown last year with Justify. I think this horse is going to be dead loose in this race, and he should win for fun.
He did run actually on a wet track. That was in a 2-year-old in training sale, and as a result of that, wound up selling for $625,000. Where are you going to wind up?
Well, listen, I got the task of trying this cross-country pick 5. Very, very unique. 2 races from Aqueduct, 3 races from Oaklawn Park. We will start with the Withers, 1, 3, 5, 6, although I do like Moretti the best. We go to race 6 at Oaklawn. That is my best bet. I love Bubba's Dixie. I'm going to single there. You go back to race number 10 at Aqueduct. I do like the 7 an awful lot in there. Quest of Fire, a questionable drop in there. Then I'm going to go deep in races 7 and 8 at Oaklawn Park. I thought those races were tough. $64 ticket. Let's try to cash.
All right, again, kicking off our February shows on Fox Sports 2, Aqueduct, Oaklawn. They have joined together to present this cross-country pick 5. It, again, starts in the Withers, race 9 at Aqueduct, so that is the first leg of this cross-country pick 5 sequence. It includes races from Oaklawn as well and concludes with a Martha Washington. We also want to get everyone involved in the show this afternoon with our showdown. You can play the races along for free without risking any of your own money. Get introduced to racing a little bit as well. You compete with fellow fans from Aqueduct, Oaklawn, and Gulfstream. You're playing for real prizes like 50,000 Naira Bets points and an entry into a sweepstakes for a 2019 Belmont Stakes ticket package. Go to naira.com/showdown to enter. So much going on today. Also, a Rainbow Pick 6 mandatory payout this afternoon, races 5 through 10 at Santa Anita.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Like, is it going to be huge or not? Mackenzie's going to be a giant favorite in there, and I think a lot of people will single, so it can be an affordable ticket for people that don't have a big budget.
We're taking a break. We will be back with our first of 3 Triple Crown preps. It is the Grade 3 Withers at 1 mile and 1/8 next. Can Moretti bring Todd Pletcher a 4th victory in this race? We will have our post-parade for the Grade 3 Withers coming up next.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on through his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, market bank $250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Classic Empire! Roy H. in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Sam Marcos will win it. Rushing Bull has done it.
For the WinStar Win program, it was a big, big day. That's the finest breeding program in Central Kentucky.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Saturday at the Races on Fox Sports 2. It is presented in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Grade 3 Withers coming up in just a moment. You can play from home, get signed up and started with Naira Bets. New members can earn a $200 sign-up bonus. Enter the promo code LIVE at sign-up. Bet $200, you'll get $200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app. All right, here we go. Down the Triple Crown Trail, Grade 3 Withers. A look at the field. Moretti right now is the favorite for trainer Todd Pletcher as we go 1 mile and an eighth and 10 points to the winner to get in that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. Let's check in now with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thank you, Greg. I want to check in with the horse who is coming off the biggest break between races, and that is number 5 in here, Lucky Lee, for trainer John Service. Now, he has been prepping his runner down in Palm Meadows, and a lot of times horses coming from that hotter climate to the cool tend to relish that, and I can tell you that it looks as though Lucky Lee has done just that. He does look very fit in here. He's a big, scopy-looking horse, but the negatives with him is that those front bandages do return for this effort here, and you also have to call into question the quality of fields that he was beating up on at Parks. He's stepping into the big leagues here today. Now, number 3, Moretti is your current favorite, a pricey son of Medaglia d'Oro. He is so much more fit than going back to his first start of his career, and this is only his 3rd race, so that is marks a very nice progression of a horse that is coming to hand quite nicely for a guy who knows how to win these Derby preps in Todd Pletcher. Now, the blinkers do go on after wondering a bit in the stretch while winning his last effort, breaking his maiden by 3 1/4 lengths. Like I said, I like him here, but also with that equipment change, I also call into question doing that off the back of a win. We'll see how it plays out in today's Withers.
Maggie, thank you. You could play the 50-50 promotion on the Naira Bets app today and earn a $10 bonus, regardless if you win or lose. Earn your bonus. Just bet $50 at Aqueduct and $50 at Oaklawn on the Naira Bets app, and you'll earn a $10 bonus. Visit NairaBets.com for all the details. So approaching the 10-minute mark to post for the Grade 3 Withers with points on the line to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. We're going to check in right now. Hot Springs, Arkansas, very proud to announce that we have Oaklawn with us this year as well. Race 5 coming up, $30,000 maiden claiming race out here at 6 furlongs in the 5th.
Yeah, and it starts your late pick 5 there. A tough sequence. Listen, no, I actually put in a pick 4, but to me, I thought that 3 was the horse to beat in here, Honduras, but the public also thinks that way.
All right, so 30,000 maiden claiming race, race 5 at Oaklawn. Let's check in with Nancy Holthus.
Well, 2-1 right now on the current favorite. That is Honduras, coming from the barn of trainer Norm McKnight, who has gotten off to a pretty solid start. Does have the services of David Cohen, and those blinkers are coming off that he has worn in those last 2 starts. He does debut here at Oaklawn, and he joins the barn off a $32,000 claim, placed pretty aggressively, and has posted a very sharp recent work here at Oaklawn, a minute 1 and 1. But I wouldn't mind getting my picture taken from the barn of Paul Holthus as he sends out the number 1 Sacred Kiki Bird, who has been gelded since his last start. But gotta go with the number 3 Honduras as my top choice.
Nancy, thank you. The public solidly behind Honduras as well. It was 4-1 morning line. We had a few scratches in the race, so right now that is the 2-1 favorite. And all prior starts from the 3 Honduras have come on synthetic in Canada at Woodbine. Trying this dirt surface for the first time this afternoon. As Nancy mentioned, that equipment change, blinkers off today.
Yeah, absolutely. When that happens, it's always something you want to pay attention to.
So loading up, long shot all around. That's a first-time starter for Donnie Von Hemel. Steps into the gate, the 4-horse. Vic Stauffer will have the call here from Hot Springs, Arkansas, as the 5 momentarily backs out. That horse has had 2 prior starts, Paul, both against Maiden Special Weight Company. Yeah, and a horse that I know that you like a little bit, Jonathan, and listen, blinkers go on and probably can be able to show a little bit more speed today.
But I like when horses show a fast, competitive number as a 2-year-old. They grow up to be 3 now. If they can find that same form they were in, they can be really dangerous to improve.
8-horse steps in. That horse debuted against Better at the Fairgrounds. So for trainer Steve Asmussen, second start here at a Troubled Trip in that debut. We'll see if this horse can improve. Tackling easier company today. Vic Stauffer with the call. Race 5 from Oaklawn.
They're at the post. They're off. Blue Gem breaks well, so does Sacred Kiki Bird. Knox Big Thirst is in the mix as well. Sacred Kiki Bird at the rail has now taken the lead from Honduras, who's away now in second. Knox Big Thirst to the outside has taken over third. Down at the rail and moving up, it's Post Close, then All Around and Blackjack Jedi. Back at the back of the pack now, All Around drops all the way back to last. So they leave the backstretch, and Sacred Kiki Bird is the leader by a half length from Honduras in second. Knox Big Thirst is third now, and a length and a quarter from the front, with at the rail, Post Close, and just outside of him goes Blue Gem and Big Trip. Big Trip just took over fourth. 3.5 lengths further back to Tap It Star, and All Around top of the stretch. Here comes Knox Big Thirst and the Bug Boy Fuentes to put ahead in front. Honduras is in second. Now charging in the center, here comes Big Trip, and Big Trip is trying to run down Knox Big Thirst. The outside two come to the wire. Knox Big Thirst narrowly in front. Big Trip on the attack in second. Through from the inside, and Tap It Star now moving up as well. Honduras is battling back, and a late charge from Blue Gem. 4 of them come to the wire, and Blue Gem's gonna run them all down. Blue Gem beat Honduras, who ran a great race to battle back. Close for third between Big Trip and All Around.
First time starter at 19-1. It is Blue Gem here in the 5th at Oaklawn.
Yeah, you could tell Honduras was a little bit in trouble. He broke so sharply with the blinkers off, you would figure he was going to finish first time on dirt. He looks like he's finished here. He battles back. He sort of wins, I guess, sort of the battle, but he doesn't win the war as the 11 swoops.
Honduras had a perfect trip. Looked like he was done, and then he started to come back a little bit. First-time starters, it's always a tough thing to try to identify which one of those is going to run well.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Ride a horse off like that, right? Mid-stretch, and he battles back. Did run well to get second in here, but it's a first-time starter. Son of gemologist for J.R. Caldwell, who gets the victory at a monster number here.
Yeah, debuted with Lasix, and you're right, at a monster number, 19-1. That's going to start off your late pick 5 there on the right way if you have that horse going.
11-3-12, it looks like they're your top 3 as we head back to New York, and it is riders up for our first Triple Crown test of the afternoon, the 139th running of the Grade 3 Withers and a purse of $250,000. It is still Moretti right now for Todd Pletcher, who's favored, as we get a look at Admire for Dale Romans, who can always make an impact on the Triple Crown Trail. Absolutely, yeah. Admire is one of my picks here. I think that this horse has a real big shot. First time running as a 3-year-old. You know, there's a lot of speed in here. It could come back to him. We'll see where he goes. Post Parade brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating over 10 years of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. Go to OCDpellets.com. As we look at tax for Danny Gargan, Jr. Alvarado aboard, and here is Sir Winston, 1 of 2 for Marcassi. Winner of a stake last time, first time going 2 turns on the dirt. We'll see how he shows up today. Todd Pletcher sends out Moretti with Manny Franco for Rapoli Stable and Eclipse Thoroughbreds.
Yeah, winner last time out and got blinkers after the win, so obviously thinks there's more improvement there. Admire comes off a maiden win for Dale Romans with Eric Consell. Son of Cairo Prince Dale Romans is always a factor in this Derby trail. John Service sends out Lucky Lee, comes in from Parks off back-to-back dominating wins. The Service name's always involved when it comes to the Kentucky Derby, and here's a horse that's gotten a lot better around 2 turns. Horsey campaign Smarty Jones. Our Brain Trust, the 6th, the other Marcassi runner, son of Freud. First start for Mark Cassie, trying 2 turns for the first time. And Patriots fans might be a hunch play here. Not that Brady. Rudy Rodriguez should see speed from the outside with the 7. You're right. The other one will be playing tomorrow, and I think the Connections are hoping this one's going to be playing today. 9-1 on Not That Brady. You will not get that on the Patriots on Sunday. We're going to take a break of the action. The Grade 3 Withers from Aqueduct as we head down the Triple Crown Trail is coming up next here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With yearlings bringing up to $650,000 and his first crop of 2-year-olds hitting the track, the sky's the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Mr. Big, Dynaformer's leading sire in California, whose progeny have consistently achieved success early in their careers, like Big Break.
Big Break opening up 5, 6, 7, can win it by as many as she likes in the end.
Big Score.
Here's Big Score with giant strides late. Big Score, an excellent W.
And Big Book.
Big Book running on Festival. Big Book's gonna win it.
Number 2 on the cumulative lifetime active sires list, second only to Tap It. Think Big. Mr. Big, standing at Harris Farms.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Saturday at the Races. We're here at Aqueduct to start off with the first of a number of Kentucky Derby preps we're going to show on this show. Actually, just the second race we'll be showing, but a lot of great action ahead of us. Wanted to touch on one of the favorites, and while I believe that Tax is the horse to beat in this race, I think it's important to talk about the number 3 Moretti and the fact that he's getting blinkers on, because a lot of times you won't see a horse getting blinkers on off of a win. But anybody that watched Moretti's last race understands why the Todd Pletcher barn, his assistant Byron Hughes, are putting blinkers on. You see John Velasquez give him a left-hand whip there, and he ducks out significantly. Then he ducks back in, and you have to imagine the blinker change. They want to keep him more focused. Interestingly enough, the second-place finisher in this race came back to win, and win fairly impressively in our second race today. Now, the third-place finisher did not run well, but I think the second-place finisher is more indicative, and that may move up Moretti a bit, and hopefully those blinkers will keep him more focused. Somebody who's always focused is Maggie Wolfendale. She's trackside.
Thank you, Andy. And I want to take a look at a horse who is making a barn change, and that is number 6 in here. Our Brain Trust will make his first start under the colors and tutelage of Gary Barber and trainer Mark Cassie, as he will also try the longest distance of his career. And he's one that, even going back to his win in the Tremont, I thought more ground would eventually be better for him. We'll see if that rings true. Physically, he's done well from 2 to 3. He's filled out, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. So we'll see how he handles this mile and an eighth. I like the way he was going in the Jerome last time out, as horses are about halfway loaded for this first of our Derby preps. We'll throw it upstairs to our track announcer, Larry Colmus.
As Lucky Lee moves into the starting gate here, here's Our Brain Trust moving into line under Jose Lescano, and Not That Brady and Raylu Gutierrez up to the outside stall to complete the line. They're all in line. They're off in the withers. A stumble at the start by Tax, but Tax will be sent to the lead with Admire right up alongside Our Brain Trust to their outside, and Not That Brady joins them very deep into that turn. A very wide trip there for Not That Brady as they make their way into that turn. And then toward the inside comes Moretti, who's racing about 3 lengths off the lead. Lucky Lee is next, and Sir Winston at the back of the pack. So they sort themselves out, and Not That Brady's going to make the front as they head to the back stretch. Opening quarter mile in 23.56 seconds. The lead is a length. Our Brain Trust on the outside second. Texas third at the rail. Admire fourth between those two. Moretti follows in fifth and races 4 lengths from the front. 3 clear of Lucky Lee. The trailer, Sir Winston, is 10 lengths behind. They continue up the backstretch in the withers with Not That Brady on top through a half mile in 47.39 seconds, 3/4 of a length ahead of Our Brain Trust. Tax is third. Moretti's moving now. Moretti fourth on the outside and only 2.5 lengths behind with a half mile to go. Admire's coming under a ride, and then it's Lucky Lee. And the trailer is Sir Winston as they make their way around the far turn. Not That Brady. On top by a full length now, with 3 furlongs to go. Our Brain Trust is running along in second. Texas third. Moretti is fourth and now trying to keep up, losing a bit of ground. A 3-wide move there for Lucky Lee. Admire is next. 3/4 in 111.44. And they're into the stretch, and it is Not That Brady off the turn in front. Our Brain Trust bearing down. Texas in tight toward the inside, trying to squeeze on through here. Coming to the final 16th, our Brain Trust, Not That Brady, and Tex on the inside. The 3 of them across the track. Tex on the inside. Our Brain Trust, Not That Brady, fights on between those 2. These 3 coming down to the line in the winners, and Tex does it. Tex by a head on the wire. Not That Brady was second, our Brain Trust was third, and Sir Winston was fourth.
Well, if all our races today are as exciting as that one, we are in for quite a show as those horses put on a tremendous show down the stretch. Junior Alvarado had no choice top the stretch. I think he wanted to angle out, but that was not going to work out when the number 6 horse, Our Brain Trust, laid on the leader, Not That Brady. Junior Alvarado came through on the inside. It got tight for him, very tight for a second, but he was able to squeeze through and eke out the victory. But I'm going to tell you something. Not That Brady ran a tremendous race, finishing second. That was an extraordinarily fast pace for this track at this distance, and he didn't break that sharply. And you see him, he comes in a bit, you see him come out a bit on the 6 Our Brain Trust. Maybe they look, maybe they don't. We'll see about that. But Not That Brady did not break sharply. And from an outside post, when they hit the turn so quickly, that is a significant disadvantage. Yet he was able to clear the lead into a fast pace, and he fought gamely to the wire. This was a terrific horse race, Greg.
It was indeed. Tax actually stumbled out of the gate. Danny Gargan had said he thought going this 1 1/8 with more pace in this race, this horse would be able to sit a little bit and finish better. That was not the plan.
No, it wasn't. And here was what happened in deep stretching there. Andy's right. Not That Brady ran unbelievable. But Gutierrez was more worried about the 6, Our Brain Trust. He had Tax buried. If you look at the top of that lane, he lugged out and gave Tax the chance to go through the rail. If he would have made Tax wait a little bit more, he wins this race. If you look, he's worried more about the 6 than he is about Tax.
Junior Alvarado is probably going to send a nice Christmas present to Ray Lou Gutierrez coming off the rail like that, getting right up in the inside. So, you know, one of the rules, you got to protect the rail, and he didn't do that there.
See that stumble there out of the gate, quickly righted himself, got to the front, and able to finish strong here at 1 1/8. And he had gone 1 1/8 in the Grade 2 Remsen, so had the benefit of having gone this distance.
And I think that's what won. You know, at the end, he had the most stamina towards the end. Did he get stopped? Yes, he was the best. But at that time, Not That Brady could have kept him locked up, but Junior Alvarado did a good job of keeping him going.
All these great races we're bringing you this afternoon, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest as we send you back out to Oaklawn Park. It was Blue Gem at 19-1, the first time starter getting the win.
Congratulations to the son of Jamal, just out of the Sky Mesa Blue Yonder, $40 on the button.
J.R. Caldwell, Penn Family Racing, and the trainer owns part of this one as well, 11-3-12 in the 5th at Oaklawn, and again later today in race 8 is the Martha Washington. But it was Tax in the Grade 3 Withers getting the victory. Junior Alvarado keeps his composure after a little minor stumble out of the gates for trainer Danny Gargan. And Reeves Thoroughbreds here. So 3-year-old debut for Tax in a performance like this. Where do you think this horse can keep going and moving down the Triple Crown Trail?
I think he obviously can keep progressing. You know, the New York Stakes, the trail is always a good one. I tell you what it does. It gives us a little preview for Gulfstream a little bit later. Maximus Mischief beat Tax last time. Tax coming back and running so well is definitely something you want to keep an eye on.
So you can see the head on the stretch where the horse did come out and sort of let Tax go. And I don't know if it was because of the left-handed whip now that I look at it, but the Tax was the best. And I'm with Jonathan. Listen, this is, regardless of what it is, this is a heady $50,000 claim that is now won, and now we have an objection.
1-7-6-2 unofficially, and an objection on Not That Brady, your second place finisher, the 7, and the 6, Our Brain Trust, as we go to Andy.
Based on the head-on that we were just looking at, guys, and I think you could see it a bit in the pan, and I touched on it after the race, I think there's a very good chance the number 7, Not That Bray, will come down. As you're going to see here, I don't think that Raylu gave up the rail to Tax. I think Junior came in and got it. His horse was tired. He went fast early, but Raylu's hitting left-handed, and he definitely drifts out into the 6, and you're going to see him do it again as he comes out right here. And I think you could say the 6 is coming in a little bit right now. I'm looking at it a little bit more closely. Might be race riding. No change. That's my opinion after looking at it again, guys.
Yeah, you're right, Andy. There's nothing there as he let Tax through there. He hit the horse left hand. The horse was tired and just lugged out. It was nothing there. But a heady race by the 7. 7 really ran a great race. And that's a tough call for the stewards.
We will see what the decision is. Definitely those two came together quite a bit mid-stretch. We'll keep you posted. We head to Gulfstream in the meantime, and our post-parade for the Grade 3 Swale at 7 furlongs as we get a look at Frosted Grace for trainer Kathy Ritvo.
Frosted Grace for Rivto. This horse has really run 2 back-to-back bang-up races, but the worry is, can he do it from gate to wire? He's going to use a lot of his speed.
Here's Jackson, the 2. John Velasquez won this race back in 2011 on Travelin' Man.
Tons of early speed for Johnny V, but he's got a lot of pressure to deal with in this one.
Topper T, the 3. Javier Castellano aboard for Bill Mott.
Sprinter as a 2-year-old and tried a little bit longer, now back to sprinting.
Here's High Crime for Darren Miller.
Ran huge first-time dirt. Son of Violence might be a serious runner.
Jason Service sends out Call Paul.
But definitely the one to beat with 3 for 5 and $279,000 in the bank.
Take Command, the 6, sent out by Terry Pompey's 2 for 3 at Gulfstream.
Another forwardly placed type. There's a lot of speed in this race.
Equipment change on Chinamato. Blinkers go on. 1 for 16. Has already made that many starts.
Well, if you like 99-to-1 shots, that's what you're getting.
Seismic Jolt is the 8 sent out by E5 Racing for David Fox.
Back-to-back wire-to-wire victories. Still a lot of hot pace in here.
Zendin, a perfect 2 for 2, including a stakes win so far.
You know, I thought at 11-to-1, this is not a bad price. This horse is shown to pass horses, and like Jonathan says, there is speed in here.
Long Shot Hard Bell, the 10, 1 for 9, and it came against Maiden Claiming.
99-to-1, I think he's in a little bit tough.
And Country Singer, sent out by Ralph Nix, comes in off back-to-back wins.
You know, this Son of Majestic Perfection is very, very fast. I just don't know if he can clear this field from the 11.
16-to-1 on Country Singer on the outside. And we're being told it is official at Aqueduct, and there was no change, as Andy Serling thought as he took another look there.
Yeah, Andy, great call by Andy. And listen, it's always really tough. With the first bump, it was a left-handed whip that the horse reacted, but after that, they kept straight. I'm okay with the call.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me much. Like I said, you know, like you said, I think you called it right, the left-handed whip. Felt like race riding, nothing too egregious. Not sure the 6 was ever going to get by.
Yeah. Well, Tax was one of only 2 runners in this race who already had some Derby points. Earns 10 more today, so he has 12 total, trying to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. Junior Alvarado aboard for the win, trained by Danny Gargan. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg joined here by Danny and owner Randy Hill as Tax. Guys, you picked him up for $50,000 at Keeneland. And Danny, what was it about this horse that drew you to drop the slip on him? Obviously, there's some pedigree there.
He has a lot of pedigree. I know his, you know, obviously the Grand Dam's a really good horse that Shug McGahee he trained. She's really, really one of my favorite all-time horses when I was a kid watching races. And I saw him run his first race at Churchill, and then I put him in my stable mount and said I need to watch him because he was really impressive going short, and he's such a big animal. I said, well, you know, if he's in for 50, I told Luke the day the entries came out with Corms Racing, I said, well, he's in for 50. I'm going to go ahead and drop on him. He said, do what you want. You know, if you like him, take him. So that's where we started out, and I claimed him thinking he'd be better on the grass long, which he might end up being better on the grass in the future. But I breezed him a couple times, and we supplemented him to his last race, and he ran really big. And then today, I think he ran even, you know, a bigger race because he went through some difficulties down the backside, like Junior told you. He clipped hills 3 or 4 times and said he was in a tight spot, but he overcame all that. And he's going to be a really nice horse. I had him probably 75% where I want him right now, so down the road we'll go from here to the next stage. I don't think I'll back him up for the Gotham, so we'll probably go somewhere else after this because I think he's a 2-turn horse, and he's a true horse that'll keep running long. but I'm really proud of him and happy for Randy Hill, Dean Reeves, and Luke with Corm, and Hugh Lynch also owns a piece of him. He's a really wonderful owner, and couldn't be better people to train for. And
well,
I'm
you
so
guys
lucky.
had to be so excited. Randy, you have 2 possible Derby contenders with Tax and Vacoma, as we'll find out a little bit more about the Derby Trail as we'll head down to Gulfstream Park for the Swale.
The Kentucky Derby is a race that we all want to capture. But what he did in the Florida Derby, that got me dreaming.
But inside the 16th pole, the 2017 Florida Derby to Todd Pletcher, and always dreaming they won it by 4 in the end.
Anytime you ever would go to see him in his breezes or in his races, you knew that he was the real deal. You really would get excited about what he was going to do for the future. I'm Jacob West, and this season, I'm always dreaming.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on through his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, bargain bank 250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races, brought to you in parts by the champion sprinter Run Happy, was campaigned by James Mattress Mac McInville. He said he's a horse that belongs to the people. We're going to see his offspring at a racetrack near you in the very near future. Perfect 7 for 7 in his career sprinting, and did it all while racing medication-free. 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire. Back-to-back 3-year-old graded stakes. Coming up at Gulfstream, first up, it is the Grade 3 Swale Stakes at 7 furlongs, and right now it is Call Paul. The 5 horse is the 6-5 favorite for trainer Jason Service. We saw this horse win a graded stakes race at Saratoga last summer. We're going to send it out to Hallandale Beach, Florida right now. Bob Newmeyer and Acacia Courtney with more.
We're here trackside, Bob and Acacia, getting ready for the Swale. I know that you like a price in here, though. We have a heavy favorite on Call Paul, Bob. Tell me about the horse that you like to the rail.
Well, I mean, it's literally jets blasting off from Fort Lauderdale Airport here, because they're going to be going very, very fast. And so I think the race shape sets up for 2 horses. One of them is Frosted Grace, inside, not great. And one of them is a horse that now you like, and I think might come off the pace today, and that's Topper T, an Iowa bred of all things. Bill Modhot, Javier Castellano, the best. I think they're going to come off the pace here.
All right, we'll see what's going to happen pace-wise, because it could be a very quick pace. I do like Topper T at a price, turning back in distance. Call Paul is your heavy favorite, but they're loading in the gate right now for the Swale, going 7 furlongs. Here's Pete Aiello with the call for the Swale.
Call Paul, who will be the next one to move up as Zenden goes into post 9. Hard Bell and Country Singer, the outside pair. Waiting for Country Singer and Jose Ortiz to complete the line. There, Imigate. And they're off in the Swale. The favorite Call Paul was maybe a step slower than the others as Country Singer was away well from his outside draw, and he fires to a clear lead. Up into second, that's High Crime, and away in third is Zenden. Down at the inside, Frosted Grace takes over fourth ahead of Hard Bell, then Take Command. In and amongst rivals is Call Paul, working a length ahead of Topper T. Then comes Chinamato, driven in the early stages. Outside in Seismic Jolt, far back in the early run today. And then it's even farther back, maybe 7 or 8, to Jackson, who's an awful long way behind with a half a mile left to go. Country Singer went through the opening quarter in 21-3 and leads the way by a length. High Crime second, Frosted Grace is third. Up on the outside, Zenden 3 wide and on a move. Here's Call Paul warming to the task in the pink cap, about 3.5 lengths off the lead. Then back to Topper T, 2 better than Seismic Jolt ahead of Take Command. Hard Bell struggling, so is Chinamato. Jackson's played no part in this with a quarter of a mile left to go. Country Singer confronted by High Crime, who's now up for a narrow lead. Zenden on his outside, widest of all, Call Paul. Frosted Grace tries to split horses and spring an upset with 3/16 to go in the Swale. Here's Call Paul, unleashed down the center with 1/8 of a mile to go, and he takes the lead. Zenden tries to hang with him second, then High Crime. Late run from Topper T with Frosted Grace, but at the 16th pole, Call Paul is clear to the wire, and Call Paul wins the Swale. Second, Zenden. Third, Topper T. Fourth, High Crime. Then Frosted Grace and Seismic Jolt in 1:23-2.
It is Call Paul in the Grade 3 Swale. Former graded stakes winner in New York, now collects one in South Florida.
Set off that fast pace, came circling and put him away pretty easily at the end. I didn't expect him to be there. I thought he'd get kind of stuck in the middle there. Topper T came flashing late, give me a little bit of money in my pocket for the try there.
3-2 on Call Paul. Impressive performance here, Andy.
I agree, Greg. I mean, it was a pretty quick pace, and he really took advantage of it. His time comparative was almost exactly like Feedback in the Forward Gal, the prior race. Irad winning both of them. But it's hard to watch the starts because they just have that head-on angle, so you don't have depth perception. But it's clear that Call Paul got left. But Irad did a great job in getting him to settle early, not panicking because he got left. They went fast up front. He was probably pretty close to where he was going to be, sitting about 5th, a few lengths off the lead. He circled the field, and you know what? He won like the best horse. That's why he was favored. We're going down now to Oaklawn, though, as we get ready for our 6th race.
Eclipse Award winning rider from last year, Irad Artis Jr., aboard for that victory on Call Paul. We have the Holy Bull up next from Gulfstream Park, but right now it's race 6 at Oaklawn Park. $30,000 claiming race at a mile distance in here in the remaining half of the entry. That is St. Louis guy, 7-time winner, will break from an outside post, is the one to beat.
He is the one to beat. He's 1 for 3 at Oaklawn with a 3rd place finish. He's had 1 race since December where he was 20 lengths behind Aztec Sense, a decent little horse for Peter Walder who crushed last time out at Gulfstream Park. But the drop is a concern. But the last time he dropped an off-the-turf event at this level, he crushed.
Absolutely. I landed on the 10 all about Ashley. The horse has run at Oaklawn 8 times. Been in the money 6 times, hasn't won here, but it feels like they wanted to bring the horse back to Oaklawn. Probably likes Oaklawn. Won 7 times at the distance, 5 times going 2 turns. Just in it, obviously 7-2, so it feels like the people are kind of betting on the horse a little bit too. I think he's got a good shot, drawn outside, should get a good trip.
He used to be in the barn of our colleague Tom Amos. We saw him this summer at Saratoga.
Yeah, we did. And if you look at the 10's in great form. You're sort of guessing with my horse, the 4. I'm hoping we can throw that race out. But there's some other horses in here that are in good form.
And again, it is just the one St. Louis guy that remains in here. The 1A wasn't also eligible, is out of this race. So it is just St. Louis guy running for the entry. Let's check in with Nancy Holthus.
Well, guys, Diodoro on the drop is always one to look out for, especially with David Cohen in the irons. I'm just going to draw a line through his last race. He was really competitive last summer when facing allowance runners at the Spa and at Delaware Park. And you got to look back, his last winning ride did have David Cohen in the irons, a very dominant performance at Saratoga against $25,000 claimers. So he is part of that entry that does remain, but I think he's going to have some tough competition as well with the Broberg runner, that being Bubba's Dixie. So Cabrera and Broberg, another top jockey trainer combination, but I got to go on top with St. Louis Guy, the entry that does remain. Guys?
Nancy, thank you. And yeah, St. Louis guy, 7-time winner for a very sharp barn of Robertino Diodoro.
Well, you can't blame where she's going at all. This is a horse that likes to win races, 7 for 26 lifetime. You know, he's 5 now. He does have a win here. He has a win at the distance. So there's not much you can argue with Nancy. But the thing you can say is, where'd the last race come from? But I'm also picking the 4, too. And you can also say, where did that last race come from? So the 1 and the 4 do have to answer some questions.
Right, and I think, you mentioned the colleague Tom Amos with Secret House. I think the horse is extremely live here. A little bit over bet. I don't know if I'd run to the window and try to bet on this horse. I'd probably look for a little bit more value, especially at Oaklawn. It feels like bombs are running all the time at Oaklawn. It's hard to take a favorite, but he definitely makes sense. He's definitely usable underneath in certain tries or exactas.
Right, Secret House is the 5 horse in here, 5-2 right now, so he's taking a lot of money. Speed going a little bit longer. He's going to cut back in distance here.
Yeah, I'm going to cut back in distance, and maybe that will help. Sometimes that will help a horse. You at least give him a little bit more kick towards the end of the race, and maybe that will happen today. Again, we've been focusing on this Oaklawn card since the beginning of the day. Very, very competitive throughout the whole day.
And then you have a horse like Bubba's Dixie, the 4 in here, 9-2 on the board, and he would love to see some pace up front to run at.
Carl Broberg is extremely dangerous at Oaklawn Park. If you're playing Oaklawn, you see Carl Broberg, you better pay attention.
St. Louis guy, the remaining half of the entry in here. Robertino Diodoro, David Cohen will be the 5-2 favorite here at post time as they continue to load up for race 6 at Oaklawn Park. Of course, their feature race still to come. 3-year-old fillies trying to earn points to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks as you're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races here on Fox Sports 2. Our first of 12 shows here over the course of the next 3 months. Let's send it upstairs to Vic Stauffer for the call, race 6 from Oaklawn Park.
All About Ashley and Swale Stakes. They're at the post. They're off. Secret House broke beautifully, so did Swale Stakes. These two break fastest. St. Louis Guy and Actabente now make it 4 across the track, and they speed into that clubhouse turn. Secret House maintains his position ahead in front. St. Louis Guy and Actabente 3 deep and a length from the front. Swale Stakes moves nicely to the rail. Well done, Richard Aramia. He sets into a perfect spot, 4th and tugging 2.5 off the lead. Then comes Capital Letters, followed by All About Ashley and Stormy Pacific. Exemplar is second to last, and Bubba's Dixie is second to last because there's one way back there, and that is Plentiful. Up the backstretch they run. The 16th pole is the finish line, and Secret House trying to take them all the way. He's a half mile from the money and a half length in front of St. Louis Guy and Actabente. Swale Stakes continues to race in 4th and 2.5 off the lead. Capital Letters moves through inside of him. Then to the outside in Stormy Pacific, 2 back to Bubba's Dixie. Exemplar and Plentiful is still far back. Secret House trying to go all the way. Secret House, a 3/4 length lead over St. Louis Guy in second. To the outside end, Stormy Pacific. He moves up with All About Ashley. Exemplar is 5 wide and 2 from the front. Top of the stretch, many chances. Secret House rides that rail and cuts the corner. Exemplar in the center, trying to run him down. Looks like it's down to these two. Secret House clear. Exemplar now coming after him, gonna make it close. Secret House reaches. Exemplar to the outside. Secret House, Exemplar, Secret House in front. Secret House beat Exemplar. Bubba's Dixie was 3rd, close for 4th, maybe Swale Stakes.
Secret House, Tom Amos able to get to the front, keeps on going despite a great wide move from Exemplar from off the pace.
Yeah, the 2 and the 4 were chasing, but they were just too late for the 5, and our colleague will get the job done, and Sean Bridgman aboard.
Back at Gulfstream, Grade 3 Swale and Call Paul with the victory for trainer Jason Service, now 4 for 6 in his career.
Yeah, this is the son of Frisian Fire. I think a lot of people forget this horse was the favorite, or Frisian Fire was a favorite for the Derby, the Forestry mare of Vonnie Force.
Standing by with the winning rider. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
I'm here with winning jockey Ricardo Artis. This has been a familiar location for you coming to the winner's circle. Tell me about Call Paul, an impressive win to come wide.
He's a nice horse. He broke a step slow out of there, so I just helped him to be a little close, and he put me in the race early. He's a talented horse, and you know, I just ride it with confidence, wait there, wait my moment, and then I know I have nowhere to go, so I just have to go around horses, and he responded really well. When I asked him, he was there for me. Jason do a great job with the horses.
Yeah, he certainly did. And you and Jason have had a great meet together so far. Thank you and congratulations, Irad.
Thank you very much.
Irad Artis, Jr. Eclipse Award winner, is outstanding rider. His brother, of course, younger brother, won it the year earlier. He said the moment that happened, of course, he was happy for his brother, but he said, I want to know that feeling. And he got to work with his agent and said, let's map out a plan how we get this done.
Well, the competitiveness between both of them, they're so talented, but they're both very competitive, but they won't show it to you, but they are.
We're going to take a break in the action. More coming up. Federal Case will make his case in the Holy Bull from Gulfstream. Next.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. We just saw the 6th out at Oaklawn, and our colleague Tom Amos, who will be reunited with us in the summer at Saratoga, come up with a victory here. 5-year-old son of Tiz Now wins for the 6th time in his career.
Has to be proud of that horse. He was game. I thought for sure he was going to get run by the 2. I thought for a second, you know, he was going to get run by the 10 earlier in the race. He stuck it out the entire way. A very game performance by that horse.
And a huge, wide move, although coming up short, the 2 Exemplar to get second.
Yeah, listen, Exemplar did make a big threat and at a huge price, and Bubba's Dixie was just sort of stringing along for third, but they both ran well.
Race 10 at Aqueduct. Taking a look at the field, it's for horses who have not won 2 lifetimes, 6.5 furlongs. Big scratch in here of the 2 Hot Mesa. That was your morning line favorite, coming off a 7.5 length win, and with him out, it's really opened this race up. For more on the nightcap from New York, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg, we still have 12 horses going to post, and number 12 is your current favorite. That is number 12, the Final Crazy Dude. Now, the Final Crazy Dude, he's aptly named. He's a little on the crazy side. He actually went out first. He was saddled on the wall, kept away from the rest of the field. But he's been kept at bay as far as his temperament has been concerned. I have seen him look better in the past. He just seemed as though maybe the winter months haven't agreed with him quite as well as over the summer and fall. So we'll see. I don't love him at a short price, that's for sure. And the same thing goes for the second choice in number 7, Quest for Fire. This guy takes a big drop in class from those state-bred allowance races. Second start here for Ray Handel. The blinkers go on, a 3/4 cup. They're closing him in. This is a horse that obviously has some issues. There was some talent in his first race with a 92 buyer, and then he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth here. He got pretty washy in the paddock. I don't love to see that. And the horse that kind of ticked the overall boxes the best for me is number 4, I Love Jackson. Blinkers come off, steps down the ladder here once again. 2 bad efforts, but I'm looking to resurrect him here in the nightcap, Andy.
I'm very much against the number 12 as well, that Maggie pointed out. I like when Maggie agrees with me, so we look at things so differently. The Final Crazy Dude is great to get the lead from Quest for Fire and has to get 6.5 furlongs. I think he is a very vulnerable favorite. I like the 13 Alticino.
All clear moving into line. Won't be missed. Here's Bus the Bell. Moving into the starting gate. The Final Crazy Dude at 2-1. Moving in. And we're waiting now for Quest for Fire and Alticino to complete the line. Quest for Fire and Manny Franco make their way up to the starting gate. And Alticino will be last to load. Alticino goes in. And they're all in line. They're off. The Final Crazy Dude. Fast out of the gate. Quest for Fire goes too. These two out to the front together. I Love Jackson came out running in third. And then it's Bust the Bell on the outside. Down toward the rail, Mickey T all clear between those two. And then Hopper Dropper, break of another 4 lengths to Carmine's Honor, won't be missed. Alticino on the outside of them. And then one more Tom. And at the back of the pack, it is Ships and Goods. The Final Crazy Dude up top through an opening quarter mile in 22.86 seconds. Heads for the far turn in front by a length. With Quest for Fire second on the outside. I Love Jackson is third. Bust the Bell is fourth. 3 from the front. Hopper Dropper's got 7 lengths to make up as they round the far turn. Then Mickey T to the inside. Alticino is next, followed by Carmine's Honor. Come toward the top of the stretch after a 45.99 half. They're into the stretch, and the Final Crazy Dude turns for home in front. Gonna try to take him all the way here in front by 2. Bust the Bell is running along in second. Hopper Dropper is on the far outside. Then it's I Love Jackson, Mickey T, and Quest for Fire. It is the Final Crazy Dude coming down to the last 16th in the clear. The Final Crazy Dude and Eric Consell on to victory here. I Love Jackson grabs second from the rail. Bust the Bell was third, and Hopper Dropper was fourth.
Well, the Final Crazy Dude, Jonathan, last time he got run down late, not this time.
Greg, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have bet that horse with your money. I thought the 7 was going to get the lead. His race was over when he didn't clear. And then I thought Andy's horse, the 13, Alticino, I thought that horse was going to win, and he was nowhere to be found. Sometimes you're just wrong in this game.
It just shows you a horse that has run 36 Beyer on muddy racetracks, gets a dry racetrack today, and just takes his field gate to wire. And the 6 made a big move, Bust the Bell at 42-1 with Dalton Brown, but there was nobody catching the favorite.
It's going to be a healthy super right there. 42-1, 15-1 in the third and fourth slots. The Final Crazy Dude picks up the second win of his career. Still to come, more on the road to the Kentucky Derby with a Grade 2 Holy Bull, mile and a 16th next from Hallandale Beach, and Maximus Mischief trying to keep his perfect record intact in his 3-year-old debut.
Eclipse champion Blame was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault and graded stakes winners Moreau, Beyond Blame, Miss Kentucky, and Blamed. His yearling sold up to $500,000, and his sensational daughter Fault brought $1.2 million at the November sale. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blame, standing at Claiborne Park.
Smiling Tiger's progeny continue to dominate with Cruel Intention following up his stellar debut with a win at the Golden State Juvenile. And Grade 1 winner Spiced Perfection, who's earned over $622,000. And graded stakes winner Ace Korea. 30 winners from 59 starters and 10% black type winners in 2018. California's #1 first crop sire in 2017 and California's #1 second crop sire in 2018. Smiling Tiger. Visit SmilingTigerStallion.com for more information. It pays to be Calbred.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on to his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, bargain bank 250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest. 10th at Aqueduct, it goes to the final crazy dude. Trainer Bruce Brown and Eric Consell aboard for the victory.
Yeah, congratulations to the connections here. Son of Bluegrass Cat, who was second in the Kentucky Derby out of the Polish numbers mare. New Britsky, now 2 for 11 lifetime. Pick forward didn't pay that much, $44, but you still got $44 back if you invested. But that pick six was not bad.
Pick six, $13,121. As you see, Eric Consell heading back to the jockey's room with a victory in hand. As we take a look at this cross-country pick 5 follow-along. 33,800 plus in the pool. Started out formfully with Tax, Secret House winning in Oaklawn, and now the final crazy dude, and still 2 legs to come, including the Martha Washington. Well, we asked you this earlier from America's Best Racing with this big weekend coming up for Derby points. Which one of these runners from the Holy Bull and Robert B. Lewis the best chance of going on to win the Kentucky Derby? And the public has responded. Of course, we are going to see next. Gets the call, Maximus Mischief, who is a perfect 3 for 3 in his career.
Undefeated horses always get a lot of attention on the Derby trail, gets people excited about Triple Crowns and all kinds of other good stuff. Keep in mind, Maximus Mischief beat Tax last time, the winner of the Withers we saw a little bit earlier on the broadcast. I think Maximus Mischief sitting on a huge race. I'm singled in the pick 4. Let's see what happens.
He has led at all but 1 point of call in all 3 career races.
Listen, you cannot fault this horse. He's obviously been well meant. He was 90 cents on the dollar. He was 1-20 in his second start when he won that race by 6 lengths. He's jogged in all 3 of his starts. You can't fault him. That's why he's 1-5.
And he'll be actually cutting back in distance this afternoon. Here comes our post parade. We start with Garter and Ty, the 1 horse for trainer Ralph Nix.
Winner 2 back at 4-5, but needs to step it up today.
Todd Pletcher, he has won this race twice before. He'll send out Federal Case coming off a victory.
Making his second start for Todd, was purchased at Keeneland November for $650,000.
Kelly Breen sends out Epic Dreamer, the 3.
You know, this horse broke his maiden at Belmont. Then they tried Remington Park in the springboard. Didn't work. Well, now they're going to start over. But they do get Irad Ortiz Jr.
There's Everfast 99-1 for Dale Romans and Calumet Farm.
40-1 last time, 99-1 this time. Tall ask for this Take Charge Indy Colt.
Harvey Wallbanger, big price as well at 37-1.
Not the worst 37-1 shot. Look for him late. He likes to run his races late.
Jimmy Jerkins sends out the 6 Mijos, and John Velasquez will ride his 1 back-to-back starts.
Winner of Mucho Macho Man, but like you said, he loses Jose Ortiz, but he gets Hall of Famer Johnny V.
Dale Romans sends out a horse who went gate to wire for a maiden score last start in the 7 Come On Jerry.
Yeah, I would think he's going to try to do the same thing, show some speed, is the son of elusive quality.
Maximus Mischief, he won the Grade 2 Remsen. He's a perfect 3 for 3 for Butch Reed.
Undefeated Colt making his first start as a 3-year-old. Handled Tax, the winner of the Withers. I think he's going to be tough here.
Well, if nothing else, we should see speed from the 9. Gladiator King is at least 99-1.
Actually, a rider change there. Carlos Montalvo's not on. This is a horse that's going to be showing a lot of speed, and that's why he's 99-1. He might mess with the race, at least mess with the early part of the race.
Andres Ulloa, yeah, will ride Gladiator King and scratch the 10 going for gold. But 2-5, on Maximus Mischief here as he makes his 3-year-old debut as we check in with Andy Serling.
Thanks, Greg. Maximus Mischief is an extraordinarily talented horse, and right now I think he has to be near the top of anybody's list for the Kentucky Derby, but it's very early. The Remsen's been a very good race. Taxa was third, came back to win today, and the fourth-place finisher, an impressive win down in Florida. Having said that, this is a great prep for him because these are preps for the Derby, and you want to learn about these horses. So far, he has always been either on or right on top of the pace. There appears to be some significant speed in this race, including Gladiator King, and we did lose Going for Gold, but even the 7 Come On Jerry has speed. So you have to think the plan is to rate a little more with him. If he runs back to his races, he's going to win. But I think we're going to find out more about him and whether or not he can rate a length or two off of horses today.
It's time for the main event now with the Fasig-Tipton Holy Bull, and we are standing right in front of the gate, Bob. Now you have Maximus Mischief trying to stay undefeated. What are your thoughts about this horse?
Well, he's interesting because Butch Reed is the trainer, rather unheralded. I think there's a comparison here between him and Smarty Jones, by the way. Smarty was very popular because they train at parks, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And if Smarty Jones, who almost won the Triple Crown, if Maximus Mischief can come as close as Smarty Jones, he'll be a nice horse. Undefeated, who knows?
And you see those memorable Cassius King silks on Maximus Mischief as well. I think that he's really just been so green as of yet, and that's something I need to see him improve maturity-wise. I like him. I think he's done everything right running-wise, but I know you had some interest in Mios as well for Jimmy Jerkins.
I like the name as much as anything. I'm also stunned by the odds board. Like 2 to 5 at last call for Maximus Mischief, which to me is outrageous. Mijos, I love the name. This is, if you don't know, it's an Egyptian god of war, hence the sire Cairo Prince, and of course depicted as the head of a lion. The broodmare sire is Lionheart. So you get it. A very clever name, and I love it, Mijos. He can win, believe me. He's going to be the second choice. He grinds around. I like him. Got to beat the favorite.
He does, and he was so resolute to win that race last time out in the Mucho Macho Man. I thought he was really game, closing from outside. Hopefully he gets some pace to run at, but anytime you see a rider like John Velasquez climbing aboard, I think that's noteworthy too.
Yeah, and it's always interesting. People think there's a big conspiracy theory with riders because Jose Ortiz is going to Maximus Mischief and John Velasquez is leaving Todd Pletcher to go to Mijos, so they think that there's, a conspiracy theory,
like
if you
drama.
will. I talked to Todd yesterday. He says a lot of it is just commitments and cancellations, and there's not much to it other than that. But I know Todd, who won the Derby, is thinking about federal case. Love the name. Let's make a federal case out of this, shall we? Todd Pletcher is the only trainer in this race that has won the Kentucky Derby. He's won it twice.
He has indeed. In fact, he won it last year. In fact, he won it 2 years ago with Always Dreaming, and last year he won this race, the Holy Bull, with Audible, who went on to win the Florida Derby and finished third in the Kentucky Derby. So this is a race that Todd knows how to win. I feel like he's kind of the other horse in this race.
He's dangerous. I mean, Todd is always dangerous, and when you least expect it, he'll creep up and he'll win the race. Just a shout out to Holy Bull, an amazing horse, horse of the year, Hall of Famer, won the Florida Derby. Died a couple of years ago, but I think 13 of 17 or 16 lifetime. Amazing, amazing.
A truly incredible horse, and I think very worthy of being named for this prestigious race with some Kentucky Derby points on the line. We'll see if Maximus Mischief can stay undefeated. Greg?
Keisha, thank you. Well, yeah, Maximus Mischief, he is the storyline certainly in this race. Mijos, though, on track, the 6, looked like he is really feeling himself. He's from the first crop of Cairo Prince, and that's a horse who actually won the Holy Bull back in 2014.
Yeah, Mijos was extremely impressive last time in the Mucho Macho Man. Got a little bit of a setup. Kind of the race kind of fell where you needed it to. He came circling on the outside. Yeah, the favorite that day didn't show up, but he still ran pretty good. I think he definitely deserves to be the second choice. But I'm a believer in Maximus Mischief, and that's kind of why I leaned in that direction.
Butch Reed, trainer of Maximus Mischief, felt he had a bit of an advantage because they've gone 1 mile and 1/8 already. It's going 1 mile and 1/16 here, so he feels like they have a little more seasoning.
Yeah, and listen, Butch is such a good trainer. I think a lot of people forget that he had won the Breeders' Cup Marathon before. Now the Breeders' Cup Marathon is no longer, but he can train horses. This is a horse that's got a sprint pedigree. Into Mischief's had a song and a prayer mare, and has got better with the distances. Now, I don't know how much longer, but he does lay over this field and is the one to catch and beat.
Won that race with a fleet again at 41 to 1. A fleet again the year prior had actually won the Withers at a big price at 24-1. So he can do it with long shots. We know. Can he do it now when all the pressure is on right now? 3-5 on Maximus Mischief as we send it back to New York.
I'm just happy I'm no longer alone in the studio, and I've got Maggie joining me. Maggie's back, and we were talking off camera, and I think we both agree that Maximus Mischief is the one to beat. But whether or not he can rate comfortably is a question. And Mijos, he's a very serious challenger. My question to you is, do you think he can be better at the 2 turns today than the 1 turn last time?
Absolutely, Andy. This is a horse. You watch this last race here coming into the Mucho Macho Man, and he's a little late to switch leads, but once he does, Andy, he really starts finding, and he is actually extending his stride, whereas we see the other horses kind of shortening up, and you really see him really hitting his best effort in the latter stages of this mile race. So a 2-turn mile and a 16th here, I think will be absolutely perfect for him. A horse I've always thought the longer the better.
And he did not have an easy trip that day, making an early 4-wide move as we head back to Greg.
Andy, Maggie, thank you very much. Maximus Mischief with a victory here at 3-5 in the Holy Bull. He would vault right up there with the 2 Baffert horses who are at the top of the class right now as one of the leading contenders for the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, he would. And he's tipping his hand in the morning. All you see is a bunch of bullets. He's been the fastest horse in the morning, and he's been the fastest horse so far in the afternoon.
Can he join the likes of Game Winner and Improbable, a couple of undefeated horses, and stay that way as well? Maximus Mischief looking to go 4 for 4. He'll break from post 8. Here's the Grade 2 Holy Bull. Pete Aiello with the call.
That was one Garter and Tie who was very fractious in the gate. Jockey Tyler Gaffleone tossed out the back. Meanwhile, Maximus Mischief has taken his spot in gate number 8. One left to move up. Gladiator King to the outside. Gladiator King and Andres Ulloa to complete the lineup.
So trying to get this last horse in line here. This is Gladiator King. Being a little bit stubborn, they finally move him in line. Not quite.
I thought your golden voice would work.
Let's check in quickly with Acacia Courtney.
The number 9 Gladiator King being a bit hesitant to load right now. They are having a hard time getting him in. The issue is, of course, that he is outside. The number 1 Garter and Tie was acting up in the gate already. I do say sometimes that some of these younger horses are kind of like Christmas lights. When one goes out, they all goes out. So they are reacting off of that, and that is going to be tough for the rest of the field as they are still having a hard time getting the 9 Gladiator King into the gate. He has quite a bit of speed as well, so that does make me nervous. He's in now, ready to go for the Holy Bull.
And they're off in the Fasig-Tipton Holy Bull. It was an excellent beginning for Maximus Mischief, who's heading off for the early lead. But down at the inside, Epic Dreamer is on the offensive early, and Epic Dreamer flies away to a 1.5 length lead. Up on the outside, Maximus Mischief gets the 2nd spot early with Mijos away in 3rd. Come On Jerry on the outside 4th, followed by Everfast, who's toward the rail 5th. Federal Case is between horses ahead of Gladiator King. Garter and Tie is 8th, and 9th and last is Harvey Wallbanger. The opening quarter was 23 23 seconds flat as they roll into the backstretch. Epic Dreamer and Artis Jr. on top by 2. Brother Jose aboard Maximus Mischief races from second. Everfast at the inside third. 3 wide and come on Jerry. Mijos is in a precarious spot under Johnny V, trying to secure some racing room while in tight. Federal Case is on his outside. Back to Gladiator King out in the center of the course, third last. Second last is Garter and Ty, and Harvey Wallbanger is last. They move to the opening half mile in 46 and 3, and they swing now to the far turn. Up front, it's still Epic Dreamer on top by a length and a half. Maximus Mischief creeps a bit closer second, but he's given more rein to do it. Back to third in Federal Case, then Everfast. Mijos has got a lot of ground to make up. He just got passed by Harvey Wallbanger, then Garter and Ty. Out the back door are Gladiator King and Come On Jerry as they run to the top of the stretch. It's the Ortiz brothers putting on a show so far. Ortiz and an Epic Dreamer have the lead over Jose Ortiz and Maximus Mischief, who's up on the outside second. Harvey Wallbanger got a ground-saving trip. He has the short stretch to work with, but he's under a full head of steam now. Still many chances with less than an eighth to go. Maximus Mischief, Epic Dreamer, Harvey Wallbanger continues to close. Here's Harvey Wallbanger and Epic Fast. It's Harvey Wallbanger. Harvey Wallbanger, the thoroughbred variety, wins the Holy Bull in 143 and 3 at 25 to 1.
Harvey Wallbanger at a huge number with the upset in the Grade 2 Holy Bull for trainer Kenny McPeak.
Wow, this is a crazy result here as the 5 Harvey Wallbanger never run a bad race. 4 starts, a win in 3 seconds. Seems like he always runs late, and that's exactly what happened here at a big price. But take a look who finishes second here, Jonathan. The 4 at 99 to 1. This is going to be a heck of an exacta.
I feel bad. I made fun of the 4. I've made fun of Harvey Wallbanger a lot. I think the drink's got a little orange juice in it. Is that the Harvey? I don't know what a Harvey Wallbanger is, but I think it's got a little orange juice. This is someone's gonna be able to buy a few of those.
Could be the
tonight.
new Derby drink.
Yeah.
Well, Jose Ortiz, his older brother, made him work early on Maximus Mischief, getting to the front.
Well, he did, and you know, Brian Hernandez Jr., who was aboard Harvey Wallbanger, did a great job just waiting for that space to open on the rail. He was always full of run. Great job by Peter Ayala, who always had his eye on the 5, and bombs away at Gulfstream Park.
Harvey Wallbanger, 29 to 1. Everfast at 99 to 1. Run 1-2 in the Holy Bull. And Maximus Mischief completes that trifecta. 7th at Oaklawn. It's an allowance optional claiming field at 1 mile and a 16th. Fire for Effect, the 1 horse for Norm McKnight, right now is your favorite as we check in with Nancy Holthus.
Well, I'm not sure what would happen if you lit a Harvey Wallbanger on fire, but Fire for Effect, my top selection here in this very competitive allowance optional claimer, ran 4th last out to a clear winner at Woodbine, but did show a very nice effort to back, scoring that victory at Woodbine. Now this horse runs very well for Norm McKnight and was out running the stretch last go, has posted a very sharp 4-furlong drill here at Oaklawn Park, and 47 and 3 was the fastest of 99 works that particular morning, and the Norm McKnight barn off to a very hot start and has posted a win every day of the meet thus far. Guys?
You're not going to make it.
All right, let's take a look at this field here for this 7th at Oaklawn. We're taking a look at the 2 here. Rocky Tough, 2-time winner on this track for Robertino Diodoro.
Man, I liked Bold Prophet, but he's a little bit cold on the board for Brad Cox. The 1 for Norm McKnight's getting bet a little bit. I'd be a little bit leery of that one.
There's Bold Prophet for Brad Cox. A lot of seconds.
Yeah, I know. I ended there. I do like the races at Oaklawn, a win and 2 seconds.
Hollywood Critic moves in line for David Vance.
Yeah, this one, not bad last time. I got blinkers for the first time.
5 was Cowboy Creed. He raced against Audible, who, of course, was 3rd in the Derby just 2 starts back. Ran good against him.
Yeah, I think he did. He's another horse that runs his races upside down. He's going to need a pace, and I don't know where the pace comes from in here.
Dapper Jack moving in next. Federico Villafranco coming in from Remington. Let's send it upstairs. Vic Stauffer with the call. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. Here's race 7 from Oaklawn Park and Vic Stauffer.
Cowboy Creed acting up in the gate. CJ Stacks is off. He's back on. Meanwhile, Cat Daddy comes forward. They're at the post. They're off. Fire for Effect missed the break. He's last early. Dapper Jack wins the break. Bold Prophet and Gettysburg are close up. Between horses goes Hollywood Critic. To the outside, Cat Daddy. Just inside of him, it is Eisenstadt. They're at the clubhouse turn and a scramble on for the lead. Way from the far outside, Cat Daddy's going to go all the way up and challenge Hollywood Critic and Between Horses, Dapper Jack. And so these three now right across the racetrack. Bold Prophet and Gettysburg are there. Then just outside of him, it's Eisenstadt. Two sets of three up the backside. Then Fire for Effect. Do his running from off the pace today. Just outside of Fire for Effect is Pitch Count. 2 lengths now further back to Cowboy Creed. Then it's a big gap to another group headed up by Switherall, who is at the back of the pack. They run past the half-mile pole. It is Hollywood Critic still in front. Hollywood Critic just a half length in front of Dapper Jack, and to the outside, Cat Daddy. These three still leaving the backstretch. Bold Prophet is loaded at the rail, needs where to go. Bold Prophet in the red and white, only a length from the lead. To the outside end, Pitch Count. Eisenstadt's got a chance, and now Bold Prophet's trying to find that seam and get through. Pitch Count is 5 wide. Bold Prophet has found that seam, and he comes through to challenge. Eisenstadt is next. Gettysburg, Switherall absolutely wide open, and Pitch Count has taken the lead. Bold Prophet has a final furlong to try to outrun him. Still battling at the rail is Hollywood Critic. Pitch Count narrowly in front. Hollywood Critic at the rail. Bold Prophet. A late charge from Rocky Tough, who flies. Hollywood Critic. Pitch Count. Pitch Count wins. Pitch Count beat Hollywood Critic. Rocky Tough was third. Maybe Fire for Effect fourth.
Pitch Count for Ingrid Mason with the victory. First win in 5 tries at Oaklawn, 9-4-2 finish.
Do they even worry about Pitch Count anymore? Yes, they do. They didn't when I played, and I should have had this one circled. But Sean Bridgman, we saw him win earlier. How about his brother, Jermaine Bridgman, getting the job done?
There's Pitch Count, widest of all around the turn, and would finish the best of this bunch in here. Was coming off 3 consecutive second-place finishes here and finally breaks back through today for the 7th win of his career.
Yeah, Pitch Count ran great with the overland route. I thought that the 3 was getting a perfect trip and just was kind of empty there. Pitch Count, he definitely earned that one.
So it's Pitch Count gets the victory. Son of Escandarea and trained by Ingrid Mason. Victory here in race 7 at Oaklawn. Again, 9-4-2 finish. Still to come. We're going to take a break here, but the Martha Washington fillies trying to collect points to run for the Lilies on Kentucky Oaks Day. That is next at a mile in the Martha Washington. And then, of course, Gunmetal Gray. Jerry Hollendorfer says he will love a wet track with the Robert B. Lewis.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first Run Happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Woody, 1,900,000.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2, and it's brought to you in part by the champion sprinter, Run Happy, the Eclipse Award winner. Never lost while sprinting, a perfect 7 for 7 in his career, and now he's in legendary stall #1 at Claiborne, the former home of greats like Unbridled, Easygoer, and of course, Secretariat. Back at Gulfstream, well, Kenny McPeak shocked everybody back in the 2002 Belmont when Sarava won at a huge number. He pulls off a shocker here in the Holy Bull with Harvey Wallbanger at 29-1. Let's check in with Acacia Courtney. So Harvey Wallbanger, $61.20 for the win. Again, trained by Kenny McPeak. Brian Hernandez Jr. aboard for the win. But look at that $2 exacta, over $2,200.
Yeah, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll get back to the Acacia whenever we can, if we can. But yeah, again, I want to point out the superfecta because I like to just see 6 digits. $2 superfecta, 100,000 and 1,248. I think you should leave the 60 cents to the teller, though.
No, you got lucky there. You tipped the 1,200.
That's right. That is right.
Wow, what a performance. And again, this was the biggest star, really, or one of them running this afternoon. Maximus Mischief was undefeated. Really felt like if he could stamp himself with a victory here, he'd be one of the leading contenders on the Derby Trail. What'd you think of his performance?
It was tough. He was in chase mode most of the way. I mean, how do you take it? Like, now this is a chink in his armor or not, and how are we going to take this race as we go forward? This is why when we watch these 3-year-old races, it makes it so good, because handicapping these races, time is the only way we can handicap these races.
A couple of huge performances we saw recently at the Pegasus, and with more, here is Acacia Courtney.
All eyes were on Gulfstream Park last weekend on Saturday, January 26th, with the richest races on turf and dirt in North America. $7 million turf and $9 million on the dirt. The Pegasus World Cup.
Back to my ways, back to my ways, back to my ways, back to my ways. Truth be told, I'm back to my ways. Back to my ways, I'm back to my ways. Back to my ways. Thought I was turning the page. I'm back to my ways. Hey, point in attack, never look back. I'ma go full force. I will not show you remorse. Yeah, I'm a savage, of course. Pull up like 20 deep, bet we just might shut this thing down.
They're off in the Pegasus World Cup. Done exactly that. From the 12 post to the rail, pattern recognition is in front. Accelerate on the outside. City of Light toward the rail. But City of Light keeps going. And City of Light will win it. It's City of Light for Javier Castellano. And a run in the rain.
Already seen it. Already seen it. What is the hype about? We already won.
What race are we talking about? Our racing here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2, of course, brought to you by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest. It was a tremendous weekend of racing. Of course, City of Light went out with just a championship performance.
He really did. I mean, it came prepared, and I think a lot of people didn't think that City of Light was going to put it to accelerate like he did, and I think Mike McCarthy gets a lot of that credit. Because I think a lot of it was on Accelerate, and City of Light stole all of the action, or the spotlight at least.
Right, very thankful for the Pegasus World Cup, right? Because probably without it, we wouldn't have seen City of Light again. He probably would have he probably would have been in Lexington already, getting ready for his next career after the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So I was very thankful. I think he's a great horse, and you're right, Mike McCarthy deserves a lot of credit for what he did with that horse.
And fans got what they wanted, too. 2 Breeders' Cup winners going head-to-head down the stretch. And in the end, Javier Castellano said this horse just really loved skipping over that sloppy racetrack.
That can help, too. His mother was a mutter.
City of Light, impressive performance. That wasn't the only big performance, though, on Pegasus World Cup Day as we send it back to New York.
Thanks, Greg. I mean, City of Light, to me, in a lot of ways, ran the best races of any horse in the country in the dirt last year. And I was glad to see him get the job done. It was nice to see him do it. I don't want to get carried away. I think he's a very, very nice horse, but I don't think he's as good as Arrogate or Gunrunner, the prior winners of this race.
No,
You're right, in a breath, you are, but the way he did it kind of as a swan song, and maybe he was a horse that truly did appreciate the mud and the sloppy going, but he did win the way you want a horse to win going out as their last career race. And Accelerate tried to get to him, and he just was kind of spinning his wheels, where as City of Light, he just skipped over it.
I think about the City of Light, and I agree very much with something Jonathan said about Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
A terrific trainer, great to see him get some credit. A guy you don't hear much about, used to work for Todd Pletcher. City of Light really, I think he had a great year, but I think he was getting better as the year went on.
Right.
And I think Accelerate, who also had a great year, I mean, a tremendous year, I don't think he was at his best towards the end of the year. And I think City of Light really went out on top.
Yeah, he really did. And back to Michael McCarthy, I mean, this is only his 5th year in training. I mean, granted, he was in one of the top barns, right, with Todd Pletcher before that. But a family man, and you could tell how emotional he was afterwards and how much this meant to him, how much the horse meant to him as well. And it is always tough seeing a horse like that leave your barn.
I agree. I'm glad, as they said, that he got another chance to race.
Yeah.
We wish he was around a little bit more. A horse that will be around quite a bit more, hopefully, is Bricks and Mortar. Now, as Maggie knows, I'm a huge fan of Bricks and Mortar. I mean,
you are.
Sometimes we're just fans of racehorses. Truthfully, we never thought he would get back to the races. And even when he got back in training, didn't know. He crushed this field.
He made them look like they were standing still. And I can ask you this question because you have, you know, your pulse on the Chad Brown barn. I mean, there's been murmurs that this isn't his best turf horse, but doesn't that solidify him as the best now?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, obviously, newspaper record, the three-year-old,
right.
now three-year-old filly is very exciting and very
yeah.
different horses. And, you know, they've had so many good horses. Based on that performance, I mean, there's a lot of racing left to go, but I think you look at that division this past year, Maggie, it was totally up for grabs. That kind of performance would have won a number of grade ones last year.
I know, he was just a little bit too late, but we hope it's a kickstart to a huge season if he can, knock on wood, stay sound and keep going because he is ultra talented.
I agree, it's always tough. You always want him to stay sound, Greg.
It looked like his career might be over, and then to put up that performance, second start off a 15-month layoff, Chad Brown gave a lot of credit to Ian Brennan at Stone Street Farm and Dr. Larry Bramlage to work this horse back as well and put up that kind of performance. Tried to get you that interview with Kenny McPeak. We're going to revisit that right now. Back in the Holy Bull was Harvey Wallbanger for the McPeak barn at 29-1. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
I'm here with winning trader Ken McPeak with Harvey Wallbanger, who broke his maiden impressively last time out. What made you have the faith to put this horse in the Holy Bull?
Well, 3-year-olds change a lot, and when you've got one doing well, you've got a window of time to run in these kind of races. It didn't look like it was a race that, other than maybe the one horse on paper, and you know his times weren't, to me, you know, he needed to prove more. And adversity, which my colt overcame today, is what you got to do in these kind of races.
Tell me about your emotions as he was closing, coming outside, coming down to the wire. What did you think of that performance?
You know, I was thrilled. I mean, I was real pleased with Brian, the job he does. He always does a good job for us. But more than anything, you know, Harold's one of my best clients. He lets me go to the sales. We, you know, kind of pluck what we call value out of there. And this is the second congrats colt we've had for him. He's got Pat on the back, who wins nice New York bred races, and really good horse in his own right, made about $700,000. But he's just wonderful. Between him and Helen and all the people that are involved, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is, and I understand this horse is named after the drink. Will you all be celebrating with one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Harold always comes up with some really good names. You know, he has a lot of fun with it, and he's always felt like this was going to be a good horse from the beginning, and it's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he was right for sure. Kenny, thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of fun.
So first of all, how did we miss this? Harvey Wallbanger was actually a buffalo that was trained to run against horses, debuted actually at Golden Gate Fields in the late 80s. Also a drink. Jonathan, you know the drink. I wasn't aware of the buffalo story. Pretty incredible. Meanwhile, back at Oaklawn in the 7th, it was pitch count $45.20.
Yeah, and congratulations to all the connections there. Pitch count. We talked about the Exacta at a giant price, but look at that pick 3 and the Superfecta at over $100,000 for the $2 wager.
Big numbers we're seeing this afternoon. We mentioned there were 4 prep races this afternoon. We have one for the fillies coming up, trying to qualify for the Kentucky Oaks as we take a look at the cross-country Pick 5 follow-along. That Martha Washington will be the final leg of this cross-country Pick 5 in the 8th at Oaklawn. And we got our price here if you're still alive.
No, absolutely, yeah. You know, this is a very tough sequence You know, obviously ending here with the stake race should be good.
Just need that one price, usually in this Pick 5, and you get rewarded.
We've been talking about this since Naira has done the Pick 5, the Koch Country Pick 5. You need one horse, 8, 9 to 1, 10 to 1. It's just going to spice it up to another level.
Yeah, you don't even need a 29 to 1 or 21 to 1, and we got one in the sequence.
Yeah.
Martha Washington is next. It is for 3-year-old fillies. Same point sequence that you'll earn for the Kentucky Oaks in here. 10 points to the winner, 10, 4, 2, 1 down to 4th place. And Sunset Wish for the Mike Stidham barn comes in having won 3 in a row, including a stakes race last start, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. At Delta Downs, she ran well that day. Drew away by 2. Nice figure coming back. She was bet that day. She should be tough here. I think she'll actually get the setup. I was a little concerned she was going to be over bet. That's why I leaned somewhere else. She definitely is live with Joe Bravo and has a great shot.
9 to 5 on the board right now. She is a daughter of Algorithms, who was a Holy Bull winner, won that race by 5 lengths, had an abbreviated career, but was undefeated during the running of that career. We'll see how Taylor's Spirit can fare this afternoon. 5 Taylor's Spirit at 6 to 1 on the board. The pedigree I was mentioning there, but that is a nice price. Sunset Wish taking all the money, so everyone a bigger number right now. Marathon Queen, the 2 for trainer Steve Asmussen, has just a maiden score. It came at the fairgrounds. And this will be her 2nd start of her career and her 1st against Stakes Company as we get set for our post-parade coming up. So the Martha So post-parade coming up for the Martha Washington. And again, we're going to see Arch Avenue here in just a moment. Arch Avenue should be coming, well, we'll see. Last time came from off the pace at Turfway Park.
Yeah, and this one is a son of Arch. Now, we saw a son of Arch Tax win the Withers, can a daughter, excuse me, of Arch win the Martha Washington last time. More of a sort of sit and pounce type of style, and I do like that she's run well over different racetracks.
So we'll see her in a moment. Pace-wise in here, I mean, is Taylor's Spirit the 5, the primary speed in this group? Who puts pressure on her?
I think the 2 Marathon Queen will probably down from the inside, stretching out from 6. She was really fast in that maiden win you had mentioned, and I think she could probably put a little bit of pressure, especially coming from the inside.
So here's Calvin Burrell on Arch Avenue again for Jason Barkley, daughter of Arch.
Yeah, and as a horse, like I said, she's won on synthetic and she's won on dirt. She's going to have to use her early speed.
And the speedy filly that Jonathan was just talking about won first time out at Fairgrounds for Steve Asmussen. That is Marathon Queen. Ricardo Santana Jr. will be aboard.
The very fast daughter of Super Saver, like you mentioned, stretching out for the first time. She'll be forwardly placed, that's for sure.
Long shot with a little bit of pace as well as the 3. She's a handful, trained by Randy Morse.
Yeah, very rarely you see a filly that was in for 15,000, then broke her maiden for 50. Now she's going for the pot of 125.
Daughter of Malibu Moon, Sunset Wish, the 4, the 9 to 5 favorite. She's won 3 in a row, including a stakes victory at Delta Downs last start.
Daughter of Malibu Moon, wearing the Godolphin blue, looking for her 4th win.
Joe Bravo aboard Sunset Wish. Taylor's Spirit at 5 to 1, the 5 in here, and that's the daughter of Algorithms I was talking about for Scott Gellner.
She's been the favorite in 5 or 6 starts, and she is not disappointed with 4 wins, but this is a little bit tougher here now.
3 of those wins, stakes wins, as well as we look at Power Gal for Mark Casse.
Stretching out, I think this horse is actually going to be finishing a little bit when they turn for home. Mark Casse known for those types.
And Crafty's Dream will round things out here.
Yeah, 15 to 1 just because it's a 7-horse field, but to me, a complete outsider.
So that's your field here for the Martha Washington going a mile. As Sunset Wish, it's already won at this distance before. In fact, that was the maiden breaker at Penn National. As we check in now with Nancy Holthus in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Thanks so much, guys. Well, you know, the 4 Sunset Wish, a little fresh coming out on the track. Joe Bravo in the irons, definitely on her toes. They actually broke post parade, and she kind of went off with the pony on her own. As we mentioned, she is looking for her 4th straight win after scoring that 7.5 furlong. Take Charge Brandy, who actually won this race several years ago. But it's very interesting as Joe Bravo knows her already, as he was in the irons just 2 starts back for a turf victory down at the fairgrounds. Definitely does have that mile experience, but did best Taylor Spirit last go down at Delta in that stakes event. But Taylor Spirit very, very confident in her own right, already a 3-time stakes winner. And as you guys mentioned, wouldn't be surprised to see Marathon Queen setting those early fractions, as she is already one of 3 looking to try 2 turns for the first time. And just in this short field of 7, 5 making the stakes debut. Maggie, Andy, back to you.
A rare situation down at Oaklawn. Maggie Wolfendale and I agreeing. We're both interested in Marathon Queen. A little disappointed. You spent a lot of time in New Orleans, but you were not there around Christmas when she ran. But she was impressive in her debut.
It was impressive for the fact that she was a debut runner from the rail, secured the lead with a horse to her outside, breathing down her neck the entire time, and she stayed on. You often don't see horses winning like that at the fairgrounds. A lot of times they're making that 3 to 4 wide move from off the pace and closing to get the win. And given that pedigree, Andy, the Dam was a good distance runner. She was second in the Black Eyed Susan. The only problem with her is the quality of field she faced at fairgrounds, but I think she should handle the stretch out too.
Yeah, Steve Aspen Barn has good numbers stretching out debut winners in their second starts. We'll see, but I like Marathon Queen as well.
Our Santa Anita coverage is brought to you by the California Thoroughbred Breeders Association. It pays to be a Calbred. For more information, please visit ctba.com. More Derby preps coming up. The Grade 3 Robert B. Lewis from Santa Anita at 1 1/16, and it's 2 horses who are taking all the attention in this race. Mucho Gusto for Bob Baffert and Gunmetal Gray for Jerry Hollendorfer.
Like, so what do we do here? The Nolo Contesto is a late scratch because of the rain, all the rain we got here. This is Bob Baffert, this is Mucho Gusto, this is Speed, but the 4, Gunmetal Gray, was pretty good last time out.
No, he was really good. He came running down the middle of the track in the sham. A little bit concerned about the pace situation for him. I'm not that concerned because I'm singled in the pick 6 to the 5 horse. But for those who are interested in betting Gunmetal Gray, you should be concerned.
Well, Jerry Hollendorfer, as far as the rain, said bring it on. This horse is bred all day to run on a wet track. Here is Kid Cantina, the one, a long shot. And 23 to 1, owned by Heyday Racing.
Yeah, I was against State Breds on a wet, fast racetrack last time, and it only could muster a 4th, so this is a big step up here.
As the only wet track experience, though, in this field, the 2 Magnificent McCool for Doug O'Neill comes off a maiden win on grass.
Yes, Son of Giants Causeway broke his maiden last time by 3 on the turf. Maybe a little Derby fever trying the dirt.
Keith DeSormo sends out Easy Shot with Rafael Bejarano.
You know, this horse is the sneaky horse. He got stopped, and you know what? Keith has these horses right for big races, so 10 to 1, I could put him underneath in a try.
Gunmetal Gray comes off a Grade 3 win in the Sham here for Jerry Hollendorfer.
Sham winner looking to add the Lewis to his Derby resume for West Point Thoroughbreds.
Mucho Gusto, trained by Bob Baffert, his only defeat came to one of his stablemates, Improbable.
Yeah, $625,000 they pay for the son of Mucho Macho Man, and really has not disappointed.
And as Paul mentioned, Nolo Contesto coming off a maiden win. That was a late scratch. That horse will not run. So 5-horse field as you look at Mucho Gusto there. Gunmetal Gray, the 4. Mucho Gusto, the 5. Taking all the attention. Let's go back to Nancy Holthus at Oaklawn.
Well, guys, you know, the 4 was definitely feeling her oats when she came on the track, did break post parade, and she warmed up very, very nicely and seems to have calmed down. So definitely no worse for wear. She did ship to the Oaklawn grounds yesterday, so she will see how good that ship she has handled. So we're just moments away from loading for the 41st running of the Martha Washington. Guys?
Nancy, thank you. So again, points on the line for Kentucky Oaks qualifying in here, and just leaving your picture there in those Godolphin blue silks. Sunset Wish trying to run that record to 4 consecutive victories and should get a decent pace to run into.
In all races, pace makes the race, especially with these horses stretching out for the first time. It can be a real shocker to them when they're going 2 turns and looking another horse in the eye. I feel like this race is going to fall apart with the Asmussen horse drawn down inside the 2-horse and Marathon Queen, but we'll see what happens when they break from the gate.
10 points to the winner to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Oaks and Sunset Wish. She'll break from post 4. Can she win her 4th consecutive start? Joe Bravo will be aboard for trainer Mike Stidham. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the Races, our debut show of 2019 here on Fox Sports 2, our first of 12 shows here over the course of the next 3 months. We're going to send it upstairs to Vic Stauffer, who has the call with the Martha Washington from Oaklawn.
Sunset Wish is in. Taylor's Spirit will be next. The last 2 to load are Power Gal and Crafty's Dream. They're at the post. They're off. Arch Avenue broke very slowly. Taylor's Spirit and Power Gal break well, but here comes Marathon Queen without being sent through to challenge and take the lead. Marathon Queen is the early leader from Taylor's Spirit and Power Gal. Sunset Wish is 4th. She's just in behind the leaders at the rail. Then comes Crafty's Dream, the slow starting Arch Avenue, who's now rank, and the trailer is She's a Handful. To the backstretch in the 41st running of the Martha Washington, and Marathon Queen is doing it nicely. She's a neck in front of Taylor's Spirit in second. Power Gal races in 3rd. She's just a length from the front. Here's an early move from She's a Handful. She's a Handful all the way up from 2nd to last to challenge for the lead. She's a Handful within a half length of the lead. Meanwhile, Sunset Wish stays at the rail. She's 5th now and 4 from the front. Crafty's Dream just outside of her, and the trailer is Arch Avenue 3 across the track. Marathon Queen, Taylor's Spirit, and a 3 wide. She's a Handful. Marathon Queen is backing out just slightly at the rail. She's 3rd now and a neck off the lead. Then comes Power Gal. She races in 4th and a length and a half off the lead. Sunset Wish gonna need racing room. Crafty's Dream is next. Arch Avenue has trailed throughout. Wide open. Taylor's Spirit has the lead. Here comes Power Gal in the center. Marathon Queen is at the rail. Sunset Wish has to try to split horses. Taylor's Spirit, Power Gal, Sunset Wish at the rail. Marathon Queen, 3 come to the wire. Power Gal, Marathon Queen. Power Gal wins the Martha Washington. Power Gal beat Marathon Queen. Taylor's Spirit was 3rd, and Sunset Wish finished 4th.
Mark Casse, Gary Barber, David Cohen. It is Power Gal, daughter of Empire Maker, with a win in the Martha Washington.
I'll tell you what, I was getting a little bit nervous. I was going to go over on the show today. Woo! We finally got one out. No, you know, horses like that with the pedigree that show a lot of talent, those are the ones you're trying to look for to stretch out. Got a good trip, good ride, nice setup in front of her there. So I'll call it. Got a little lucky.
Now, you could call, but I mean, you called it in the backside. You even said you thought this horse was sitting in a good spot. The 4 who looked loaded the whole time just had no punch. Give credit to the winner and David Cohen and Mark Casse.
Our 3rd and final Kentucky Derby prep coming up from right here in Southern California at Santa Anita. It's the Grade 3 Robert B. Lewis. For more, let's check in with Michelle Yu.
Thanks so much, Greg. Out here where the horses are making their way to the starting gate for this mile in the 16th event. Got to catch up with a lot of the connections here. Obviously a compact field, and I think the big thing is going to be a tactical situation for a lot of these riders, and that was kind of the sentiment I got from most of the trainers. Talking about Mucho Gusto, like I mentioned in the open, this horse breezed over the slop when he ran up into, or worked up in Timonium for the sales, and Bob said he smoked over it, and he I saw a picture of him. He did look like he went really good. He worked 10 and change that day and looked phenomenal. So hopefully it won't hinder him too much. As far as the 2 Magnificent McCool goes, this is another horse that was a pricey purchase, $625,000. Finally woke up last time out as he got to route on the grass. I asked Doug O'Neill about coming into this race, and he said it was a little bit of a reroute. They were really considering the El Camino Real Derby, but thought to run here because he was ready and the race came up. He's not sure what the horse is going to do on the surface today, but again, they have sealed this track, so even though it's splashy, it's not like it's a very deep, cuppy track. His last 2 races, by the way, he has had blinkers on, and that has made him a lot more willing in the morning. The 4 Gunmetal Gray has the pedigree here to definitely love the off-track. His mom and his brother, both off-track winners. He is coming in off a win in the Sham last time out, and I talked to Jerry about the pace situation in here because it looked like Mucho Gusto might be a lone horse, but he said this is a fair racetrack, and we'll see what he does here. Horse is loading in now.
There is Mucho Gusto. So Bob Baffert already with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, game winner. He has Improbable, both of those 2 undefeated. Can he have a third in Mucho Gusto continue along the Triple Crown Trail? He'll break from post 5. His main competition, the 4 Gunmetal Gray. Let's send it upstairs to Frank Miramati. The Robert B. Lewis from Santa Anita.
Beautifully. Magnificent McCool is up close, and so is Kid Cantina down at the rail. It's a gap of 4 back to Easy Shot in 4th, and Gunmetal Gray is at the back of the pack. Not that quick into the first turn. Kid Cantina at the rail wrests a narrow advantage from Magnificent McCool. Mucho Gusto sits in a perfect spot, 2 behind them in 3rd. Then comes Easy Shot 4th, 4 lengths off the lead, and another 3 to Gunmetal Gray. Onto the backstretch they go, and Magnificent McCool takes over. Quickly puts a couple of lengths on Kid Cantina, who's being pulled up. Number 1, Kid Cantina pulled up on the backstretch. Mucho Gusto in a nice, comfortable stride in 2nd. 4 lengths back to Easy Shot in 3rd, and another 5 to Gunmetal Gray with a half-mile left to go in the Robert B. Lewis Stakes. And Magnificent McCool is the leader. Mucho Gusto moving in from 2nd. He's within a length and a half as they head to the 3/8 pole. Easy Shot is in 3rd. Gunmetal Gray has 10 lengths to make up. Mucho Gusto unleashed by Joe Talamo midway on the far turn, and he goes right by Magnificent McCool. Another 2 to Easy Shot. Gunmetal Gray starts to commence his bid, has 6 to make up. They're at the top of the stretch. Mucho Gusto, Gunmetal Gray on the far outside. Easy Shot is in striking range. Magnificent McCool at the rail. They're in the final furlong, and Mucho Gusto now pours it on. Opens up 3. Easy Shot, Gunmetal Gray will battle for 2nd. Mucho Gusto, impressive in victory, cruises home by 5 easy lengths. Gunmetal Gray got up for 2nd. Then it was Easy Shot and Magnificent McCool. Running time 1:41.81 seconds.
Lewis, we did see the 1 Kid Cantina pulled up on the backstretch. We'll try and get you an update on that horse as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully everything is okay. But I thought Joe Talamo made a smart decision going into the first turn. He needed to decide whether I need to go to the front end, hung out 3 wide, or drop back. He decided to drop back and race.
Probably the same result either way, whether he takes back or he doesn't. Look, as a person who was single to that horse, I was a little bit nervous. It wasn't the ride I was expecting. I was expecting him to be on the front end, be loose, and keep Gunmetal Gray out of it. I was a little bit nervous at the 3/8 when Gunmetal Gray was coming to him, but Mucho Gusto had a ton left and kicked away.
I mean, maybe Bob told him, hey, listen, keep him dry. You have the outside. Let's just keep him 3 wide. We have the best horse. Even if we don't need the lead, we really don't. And Gunmetal Gray picked up the pieces. But there's just no doubt. You can tell he's a tiny bit green. He ran in spots. Like, he looks like he was going to get caught, and then he went and took off again as soon as Joe hit him left-handed. So I think he got a little bit more of an education today, definitely.
Had the lead last time, and weekend late against an undefeated, very nice stablemate, Improbable, so maybe it was instructions this afternoon. Mucho Gusto sits off the pace and gets the win. Let's go to Michelle.
Thanks so much, Wolfie. I'm with Bob Baffert here. Bob, was the instructions to not go to the lead today?
No, I actually told him ride the horse to win, because this is your chance. And we've always talked about taking, not sending him so hard. And Joe really, has been working with this horse, and he's been, I'm glad I see him. I saw him off the pace, and he knew those horses were going to be out there going. So, no, it was nice that he idled and then he, looked like they were going to come to him a little bit, and then he kicked back, and that's what you want to see this time of year, because this is when it all starts. So.
Some of his works in the morning, he's hung a little bit on horses. Were you happy to see him really pull away here?
No, that's because I'm on the radio and I don't let him go. That's me. All right, that's the coach.
I like the coach. Yeah. You said you probably will take this horse out of town next. Do you have plans already laid out?
Not yet, but the next one coming up, we got Game Winner, coming in, and then we have Improbable. So, we're just going to play it by ear and see how he's doing. But we want to go where he can, win.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right.
Bob Baffert wins the Bob Lewis here.
The Triple Crown contenders just keep piling up for Bob Baffert. Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Game Winner, the undefeated Improbable, and now Mucho Gusto will continue along the trail as well. As we show you results from race 8 at Oaklawn, it was Power Gal, Mark Cassie, Gary Barber getting the victory, returning $8.40.
Yeah, Empire Maker filly had the high yield mare, Nan, and this Power Gal was bred in Japan.
Let's go live to Nancy, standing by with David Cohen.
Thanks so much, guys. Here with winning jockey David Cohen, who piloted Power Gal. She certainly lived up to her name for trainer Mark Cassie and owner Gary Barber in today's 41st running of the Martha Washington. She made not only her stakes, but also her two-turn debut, a winning one. Obviously, Mark couldn't be here today. What instructions did he give you prior to the race?
Well, first I want to say big congrats to trainer Mark Cassie and owner Gary Barber, and a big thanks. No, there's really no instructions. I worked with her last couple times, so I had the ability to get to know her and get to know her style, and just had a chance to put her in the race and get a good pace up in front of her and set up the way we thought it would.
So now you beat some pretty solid fillies and kind of gunned them down in the stretch, came on the outside. You obviously knew you had enough left, but how much did she have left in the tank pulling her up?
I mean, she had to dig in to get it done. She showed a lot of heart, was kind of eased down the last little bit, so she had a little bit left in the tank, but she had to work hard for it today.
Well, she not only worked hard, but she also earned 10 points towards the first Friday in May towards the Kentucky Oaks, and we hope to not only see her there, but also in the Grade 3 Honeybee on March 9th. So congratulations to you, David, and congratulations toward the connections of Power Gal.
Yeah, 50 points will be on the line to the winner of the Honeybee when that happens on March the 9th. Power Gal certainly earned the right to move along. As we take a look at the cross-country Pick 5 follow-along, 50-cent payout, over $5,700, all made possible because of pitch count.
Really was, right? Tax was your favorite, Secret House second choice, the 12. The final Crazy Dude was your favorite. All you needed was pitch count.
Easy enough in hindsight.
It really is.
Just punched the all button in that race. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. We'll be back with more right after this.
Tommytown Thoroughbreds, home of California's #1 living stallion, Grayson, sire of the furiously fast Tough Sunday.
It's Tough Sunday in front. He's tough any and every day.
As well as S.Y. Sky.
S.Y. Sky at first asking.
And Enola Gray, a resounding victor on both turf and dirt.
Enola Gray, they would need to sprout wings to catch her.
Grayson, California's #1 living stallion, standing at Tommytown Thoroughbreds. It pays to be Cal-bred.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With yearlings bringing up to $650,000 and his first crop of 2-year-olds hitting the track, the sky's the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on to his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, market bank 250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is brought to you in parts by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Jonathan Kinchin, and the rest of our crew with you here on our first of 12 races in our series here as we see Mucho Gusto give Bob Baffert yet another Kentucky Derby contender here. And if it's a wet day, that first Saturday in May, I think you got to like this horse's chances.
Yeah, you mentioned the wet. It's a little bit tricky now. Where does Mucho Gusto stand? And a lot of people won't know the answer to that because of the surface that he ran on today. We're going to need to see the next race to really understand what his chances will be like come the first Saturday in May.
I like the way he's progressed. I like the way he rated today. Maybe that's what they want. Son of Mucho Macho Man. Got Giants Causeway on the bottom side. Listen, they paid a pretty penny for him, so he must be a looker. And Bob Baffert, if there's ever a coach, trainer, whichever you want to call him, it's one of the best ever in any sport.
That price you mentioned, yes, $625,000 they laid down for this horse. Michael Peterson owns Mucho Gusto. 7th victory in the Robert Lewis for Bob Baffert.
Crazy.
Incredible.
If you got a 3-year-old, who else would you send him to?
It's true.
Let's check in again with Michelle Yu for more.
Thanks so much, Wolfie. Talking over to Liberace Barrocio, who had the one Kid Cantina, as you saw, was pulled up during the Bob Lewis. He actually remained here while the horse was loaded onto the horse ambulance, so I spoke with him about it. He obviously hadn't seen the horse firsthand yet, but did hear from the outrider Camacho about the horse, and he said that Giovanni said that when the horse switched leads, he just took a little bit of a bobble step. He didn't want to risk anything, and so the rider pulled him up. So again, the horse on the ambulance, and we have to await further update on his status.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. Mucho Gusto, winner of the Robert B. Lewis, giving Bob Baffert a 7th victory in that race, as we're just really kind of getting started in earnest here. There have been some points. Certainly some of these horses as 2-year-olds earned some points as well, but now we're starting to get serious.
We are starting to get serious, and you start to wonder, you know, whether you want to take these points early, not, or you want to wait for the horse that's peaking at the right time. It's really tough to tell what you want to do with Mucho Gusto because he only faced 4 rivals, and he ran in the mud, but he did what he was supposed to do. He crushed.
And again, we don't know if it was instructions or just the way the race worked out, but Talamo sat off the pace. In the end, it didn't matter here with Mucho Gusto.
No, it didn't matter at all. I mean, like I said, I don't know if he would have lost either way. I think he could have gone either trip. I think Gunmetal Gray actually ran pretty good given the circumstances. He got lucky that Magnificent McCool kind of went on with it a little bit to kind of help him out, set it up. He looked dangerous. I wouldn't give up on that horse, especially on a dry track with a little bit more pace to run at. Horses looking each other in the eye.
Let's check back in New York with Andy Serling and Maggie Wolfendale.
Obviously, Mucho Gusto was much the best. I think it was surprising that he rated in here because he looked like the clear speed on paper, and that's a feather in his cap. But Bob Baffert has a couple horses named Game Winner and Improbable, and probably others in his barn that are better. I don't want to knock the winner. Gunmetal Gray, I think he was exposed a little bit, but it was a wet track. We're going to see some bigger and better things out west, I think.
I think so. And how many years now running have we seen the best 3-year-olds come from the West? And as you said, I'm really excited to see Game Winner and Improbable coming back because you go back to that Low South Futurity, and I thought Mucho Gusto ran a great race. He was game. He set some reasonable fractions, but still hung in there gamely, and Improbable trounced him, and he trounced this field. So once again, though Bob Baffert uncharacteristically has gotten off to a slow start in 2019, his 3-year-olds, as always, look as though they're pretty darn good.
No, I agree. He's obviously holding a very, very strong hand. So we'll see how things work out. Probably going to see some good performances, and we'll maybe see him on our shows going forward. A lot of racing left to go, and a lot of races left going towards Triple Crown. Michelle Yu is standing by with the winning owner, Michael Peterson.
Thanks, Greg. Michael, you had told Bob you wanted to find a couple of horses. Did you think you'd get one this great?
No, but, you know, when we're in this business, we're always dreaming. So I was hoping for something good, you know. He was one of 2 horses I bought, and the other one, Tail of the Union, unfortunately got injured, as you know. So you can't get your hopes up too high.
Talk a little bit about the situation today, though, because the horse just happened to work at the sale that you bought him out of in the slop, and then, of course, it comes up wet. Were you just doing a rain dance?
You know, we knew that he had done well once, but you know there wasn't any other horses on the track that day, so you never know what's going to happen.
Derby bug bit you yet?
I'm dreaming like everybody else.
Congratulations here.
Thank you very much,
guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you for that. Michael Peterson, again, he spent the $625,000 on Mucho Gusto, owner of Pandora Jewelry.
You didn't get my my little like pendant for your jewelry, like the horse racing horseshoe I got you?
Must have got lost in the mail,
Peterson?
Oladuca, but it's the thought that counts.
I've got one with a little dollar bill hanging off of it. So
cool jewelry, by the way.
So Mucho Gusto, impressive. As for Bafford's other two big ones, Game Winner, we're not going to see him until early March.
I can't wait to. I'm with them. I think he's the real deal.
I like the other one, Improbable.
There you go.
Both those two undefeated.
That's why I love this time of year. There's so many different opinions. This is what I love.
Baffert stacked yet again. And we want to remind you again, our show brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Got questions? America's Best Racing has your answers. Visit americasbestracing.net today. Robert B. Lewis. It goes to Mucho Gusto. Michael Peterson. Bob Baffert, his 7th victory in the race. Joe Palamo aboard for the winning ride. We'll be back with more right after this on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
Program. It was a big, big day. That's the finest breeding program in Central Kentucky.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Today at the races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You'll want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest. And on that subject, with more, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
We're pleased to have America's Best Racing as a partner for these Fox Saturday at the Races shows, and I'm joined now by two members of the team. That's Dan Torgman and Penelope Miller. And for those who don't know, Dan, what is ABR all about?
So ABR is sort of this all-encompassing website where you can go and you can find out anything you ever wanted to know about horse racing. We think racing is just the coolest sport in the world. You can go to the track, you can have a drink, you can dress up, you can make some money, and we kind of show you how to do all those things. We also have an awesome video team that takes people behind the scenes and shows you what it's like for the jockeys and for like all the different athletes in the sport and the people who are involved in the sport. So we think racing is a lot of fun, and if you go to americasbestracing.net, you see everything that's involved in the sport.
And you guys are very present on social media as well. Check them out on Twitter and Facebook. And Penelope, you guys will be really present this coming several months into the Kentucky Derby. And this is kind of the unofficial start to the road to the Triple Crown.
It is. It's so exciting. And we're looking forward to sharing everything on how the horses, jockeys, owners, trainers all get to the gates for the Run for the Roses. And we do that through, as you mentioned, our social media, through videos, photos, written content on americasbestracing.net and across our social media channels.
Well, if you guys want to be in the know, make sure you check out abr.net. Dan, Penelope, thanks for joining us.
Oh, we're not done yet. We have more live racing action coming up. We're going to go back to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Race 9 at Oaklawn is next. It is a maiden special weight. Everyone trying to collect that first victory of their career, going 6 furlongs. And we look at the field here. It's Julius, the 6. Blinkers come off for trainer Brad Cox, the one to beat.
Julius taking a lot of money. Bob Baffert couldn't break the maiden. Brad Cox still hasn't broken the maiden. A little bit over bet for me. I'm going to look for some more value.
I have to agree with Jonathan here because here's the deal. When Bob Baffert can't get a horse to break the maiden, and then they geld a horse they paid $600,000 for, that's sort of a red flag. You don't really want to geld those type of horses. So I thought the 2 was going to be very tough. I'm a little surprised that the 2's not your favorite, and I think maybe, I guess Lupaloo is how you pronounce that, will end up being your favorite when they spring the latches.
Yeah, a couple starts back, Lupaloo nearly graduated, actually had the lead late in the stretch and just got nailed at the wire.
No, absolutely, and they're going 6 the same distance, forwardly placed type. I ended up landing on the 1 Light Hawk, first time gelding, the ultimate equipment change. Horse was bet down to favoritism last time at Oaklawn, actually February of last year, comes back off of a break, obviously, like I said, with the gelding. A little bit sneaky down there from the inside, so we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll have more on this race coming up. We're going to see it live in just a moment. Right now, standing by with a very special guest. Let's go to Nancy Holthus.
Here with President Louis Sella of Oaklawn Park. Now, Louis, Oaklawn has done nothing but grow and expand in bigger and better ways the last several years. But we are part of Fox Sports Saturday at the Races this year. What led to this expansion this year?
Well, thank you, Nancy. And we're so honored to be a part of Fox Sports and really to partner with our colleagues and friends out in New York for this great series of racing. When you have 15,000 of the greatest fans of racing here on a Super Bowl weekend, it means something special, and it shows just how exciting our race fans are, not only for the current meet, but what we have ahead of us.
Well, we have been in the spotlight for many other reasons, and this is just another reason for Oaklawn to shine.
Well, we are very excited, and we have a lot of things going on. Of course, we're standing in a new winner's circle that completed just this past summer. Behind me, we have 5 new barns, and we have 5 more barns that we're going to build, which is not happening anywhere in the United States. In just a couple of years, to my left shoulder, we're going to have a brand new hotel overlooking the stretch, which is going to be so exciting for racing.
Well, Oaklawn always does it bigger and better. Back to you guys.
Nancy, thanks. Well, the Sella family has run Oaklawn since its founding back in 1904. We're proud to have them on board this year on our Fox shows. Jonathan, you've been there. What makes the town and the track so special?
Just like Saratoga. Anywhere you go, and you go to dinner, you go to the gas station, people are talking racing. Any place that does that, it's a place I like to go to. It's a great place to go. Right in the middle of the country, not hard for anybody to get to.
Checking out to hear Frank Miramati, who called races at Oaklawn. He couldn't say said the exact same words, Jonathan. It's so homey, and everybody just loves racing.
Getting close to the 9th race, we're going to go back to Nancy Holthus.
Well, just for the record, guys, I like to say that Saratoga is the Oaklawn of the North, just for a little clarity. You know, we have seen some pretty big prices this afternoon, and I am going to go with the number 8 C-Dub on top. Another big purchase price, but this one was quite a few years ago, $475,000 back at the Keeneland September 15 sale, and making just the 5th career start. And as you mentioned, the ultimate equipment change has been gelded since that last start. Exits a really good second when coming off a year-plus layoff. Made that start back at Remington Park going 6.5. Did lead that way, but was caught late to run second, beaten only a length, and finished in front of Greeley Can Win, who does return here this afternoon. That great effort, Aramia is back in the irons, so hoping to get the W for the barn of Kelly Von Hemel, and at last glance was 5-1. So we'll see if we can get off the duck for the Kelly Von Hemel barn. Guys?
Nancy, thank you very much. We'll see in just a moment here as we're set to load up in mere moments here. Julius remains the favorite. That is the horse who will break from post 6. But again, yeah, I saw that Bob Baffert there as well. If he could not get this horse to break the maiden. Brad Cox has had a couple of tries already. That is an awfully short price now to start number 5. Put all your money on this horse.
It is even money. When Brad got the horse at Churchill, didn't perform. The horse is eating up a lot of the public's money, and the public's still dipping in.
The only positive sign I'll say is the blinkers off, just suggesting that maybe that whatever was causing the horse to have blinkers has now been sorted out. And so I think that's probably one thing you could look for as a positive, but I just can't at 2-1.
Yeah.
Real quick, we want to update you as well. Back in the Robert B. Lewis here at Santa Anita, Kid Cantina, we saw pulled up in the backstretch. Actually have heard that he suffered an injury to his knee, and he has been taken back to the barn for further evaluation.
Yeah, best wishes to him and all the connections there, and hopefully he'll be able to race again, or he will be okay.
Again, that was Mucho Gusto, so impressive in that Robert B. Lewis. You know, we saw some big performances today. We saw Tax kind of start things off in the Withers out in New York, but who was most impressive to you of the preps that we've seen so far today?
If someone was forcing me to bet a Derby horse right now, I would bet Mucho Gusto. I just thought it looked like he had the most upside. Like Andy mentioned earlier, he should have been on the lead, but the fact that he took back rated and passed horses is a positive thing for these young horses.
Mucho Gusto is easy for him. I'll give a little bit to Tax, because I thought Tax really had to work for it a little bit and showed a little bit of guts.
Loading up here for the 9th at Oaklawn, Julius. Can he finally break through here? Equipment change, gelded, and blinkers coming off for trainer Brad Cox. Fernando de la Cruz will be in the irons. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Here, our first show of the series here in 2019 on Fox Sports 2. Vic Stauffer with the call from Oaklawn.
Lighthawk is fractious. Julius comes forward. Half the field has loaded. Here's Kansas City Zip. C-Dub. Verve's Humor. Oxen. 2 more. Greeley Can Win and Swithers Shortcut. They're at the post. They're off. Good start for Lupaloo, who shows speed. Swithers Shortcut and C-Dub are close up. Kansas City Zip between horses. And here's your leader, Kansas City Zip. Lighthawk's on the move at the rail, and there goes Lighthawk all the way through. And now he's going to take the front from Kansas City Zip. Lupaloo is 3rd, C-Dub 4th. Then it's 2 lengths to East Moon Lake to the outside, and Greeley Can Win, and Globus is at the rail. Oxen is next. Julius has 4 to make up. Then comes Pantheris Leo, and the trailer way behind the field is now Oxen. Around the far turn with Lighthawk the leader. He is in front by a half length, but here comes Lupaloo and Kansas City Zip, and a new leader at the quarter pole is going to be Lupaloo, who has a neck in front. Kansas City Zip and Lighthawk battling back, and now Lighthawk retakes the lead. He's ahead in front. Lupaloo alongside, and these two are now matching strides and 2 in front of Kansas City Zip. Lupaloo and Lighthawk, final furlong, 2 lengths over Kansas City Zip. Lupaloo, a narrow lead. Lighthawk battles on bravely from the inside, and look at these 2 guys trade punches. Lighthawk inside, Lupaloo outside. Lighthawk battles back and wins. Wow, good race. Lighthawk beat Lupaloo. Kansas City Zip was 3rd. Close for 4th between Oxen, Verve's Humor, and Swithers.
Lighthawk, recently gelded, comes up with a win for the Ron Moquette barn.
That's a great call by you.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with 20-1, huh?
20-1 shot. And we've been talking about horses on the inside of Oaklawn have been coming back. If you look at Lupaloo, he's got this horse put away, right? But the gray kept on giving more and more and more, and great call by you, Jonathan. 20-1 winner.
I was rooting for the J.K. Paul exacta there. I didn't think I was going to get beat. I was hoping to hold on for second. Very, very game. Obviously, the equipment change that we mentioned earlier made a big difference there. You know, but look, when you can get those types of prices on horses that have a lot of things going in their direction, and you can fade horses, like we talked about with Julius, who obviously just isn't that talented. The connections are obviously why he's always bet. 20-1, nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
We're going to take a break. Next week, expected to meet two stars from Saratoga we met last summer who won the Lure and the Bernard Baruch, and Inspector Lindley and Kurbon at just one of the stakes from Tampa Bay Downs on Fox Sports 2. And Saturday at the races, also the Sam F. Davis as we continue along the road to the Kentucky Derby. We'll be back with more right after this.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now his much-anticipated first crop arrives in 2019. Mastery standing at Cleveland Farm.
Lakerville, the blistering fast, stakes-winning star by unusual heat, is now a leading freshman sire in California. After a career of 5 wins and 4 placings in just 11 starts, his progeny are delivering, with 3 winners from just 6 starters, including Lakerball, who posted back-to-back stakes wins at 2 tracks in open company in just 3 weeks.
Lakerville is a rising star in the California breeding shed. His first crop are very precocious and show exceptional speed.
Lakerville, standing at Harris Farms, it pays to be Cal-bred.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on to his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, market bank 250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Cleveland Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use promo code LIVE. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2 is presented in part by the champion sprinter. Run Happy, the Eclipse winning sprinter, was a 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire. First foal was a filly that was born at Ashview Farm, where Run Happy was born. That filly delivered back in January of 2018. Back at Oaklawn in the 9th, Light Hawk coming up with the victory.
Yeah, and congratulations to Orlando Mojica. That was a pickup mount in Joe Bravo. That's why you need to, you can't put in credence into pickup mounts or anything like that. But that precipitated an $18,000 pick 4 for $2. So if you had that for 50 cents, it's a lot of money.
Well, again, we had 4 prep races in all, one of them for the Kentucky Oaks, but 3 Derby prep races. Obviously, when you talk Bob Baffert and you have a horse like that in there, he's going to be impressive. Mucho Gusto there. Where do you think he fits into the Derby picture?
I think he fits in the Derby picture, but it's still too early because, like Andy and Maggie were saying earlier in the show, Bob's probably got 3 others, and I'm still waiting for Game Winner as well. I think that's the best in his barn, but remains to be seen. And again, we're not going to see Game Winner probably till March 9th.
Yeah, not only we're questioning where he fits on the Derby trail, we have to question where he fits in the hierarchy of Bob Baffert's barn. I think he's probably the 3rd or 4th best, like Paul mentioned, Game Winner and Probable. I think probably are a little bit more talented and have shown more at this point.
Tax a horse, too, that we should mention, our winner of the Withers. Danny Gargan, his trainer, believes he has the pedigree to be able to run all day.
Yeah, he does. Listen, he's a son of Arch out of a Giants Causeway mare. That's bred to go all day long. And Danny even told Maggie in the interview, listen, I think there's more there in the tank. Kenny McPeak gives us a bit of a shocker. I mentioned earlier in the show he did that with Sarava and the Belmont. Can Harvey Wallbanger make a further impact on this Triple Crown Trail?
I think these are the types of races when you get a 99-to-1 shot that runs second, both favorites run out. You wonder how good the race actually was, how talented those horses were that are in there. I probably can predict right now I'll be betting against both of them when they come back in the next start.
You'll be having a Harvey Wallbanger while he's betting against.
Light Hawk, $43.40 for the victory to close out our program here. Hope you enjoyed our first show of the season, our first of 12. We're with you for the next 3 months here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. We hope you join us on Fox Sports 2, same time next weekend as well. We'll see you at 4 Eastern with the same cast and crew and everyone placed all around the country. Hope you enjoyed it as we kicked off 2019 with 3 very intriguing Kentucky Derby prep races. And again, more to come next weekend with the Sam F. Davis out at Tampa Bay. It's going to do it for us here at Santa Anita. We're in the Robert B. Lewis. It was Mucho Gusto getting the win, but Tex started us off in the Withers. Called Paul in the Swale. Harvey Wallbanger with a huge price for his trainer, Kenny McPeak. We'll see you next week, again, from Tampa Bay with more great coverage from all across the country. We'll see you at 4 Eastern next Saturday on Fox Sports 2.